sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
We are live. It's the last party of the weekend. Welcome to 10 Drink Minimum. Ooh, I've got the good voice today. We have with us live, we have James Smiley.
Hey there, everyone.
Ooh, you sound fancy. And Holly Ann decided to have a baby, I guess. And so, yeah.
Ridiculous.
And I guess you can't just have a baby right away and then go back to work.
How unprofessional.
When did this happen? So we brought in Sarah Kennedy.
Hey, hi.
Ooh, let me lower. I'm gonna lower that for you.
That sounds nice.
I'm gonna probably fuck it up. There we go.
Hey, that looks great.
Yeah. There we go. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah. Thank you for filling in.
No problem.
I'm glad you're here. I just want to say that right away.
Chris is.
Yeah.
I don't care what other people have said. I'm happy you're here.
That's like one of my favorite things to do to people. It's just like fuck them over like constantly. They're like, hey, I think your apartment's great. You know, I found a new one. Someone sent this to me because they know my jokes, and they're like, go up to someone at a party and say, hey, I have no problem with you being here. Yeah.
It's perfect.
And it's like just one of the, and then all of a sudden the whole rest of the day, like, who doesn't want me here? You know, it's like, what the fuck? So yeah, welcome. What have you been up to?
Oh gosh, it's been a really busy week. I was in Santa Fe last night. I did 2 shows up there in this place. It was wild. So it was in the plaza, but it was the basement of this like oxygen bar / matcha drink. You could also have dinner there kind of place.
Yeah.
It was across the street from the Matador, and it was
nice.
What is an oxygen bar? I've heard that.
You can like sit at the bar, and then like you just get to like have the little thingies in your nose, and then just get some like fresh, direct oxygen right to you.
As COVID happened, like that sounds like that changes when you said put that thing in your nose. I was like,
no thanks.
I'd like to see a sanitation.
Right?
thing.
Sure.
Did they change out the cannulas every time?
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but was it cool? What did you do in the oxygen?
No oxygen. Did have a matcha drink. But it was in the basement. In the basement, have you guys ever seen those like salt caves that are up by like Ojo Caliente, where like they've like carved into salt? Yeah. So this whole basement had like plaster stuff that was like carved to look like those salt caves and stuff. So it looked really cool once you like got down there, and I don't know, it's a really cool place for comedy, and it's like a really neat opportunity.
What's the name of the place?
It's called the Apothecary.
That sounds very Santa Fe.
Yeah, it's very Santa Fe.
I've heard of that. I've never been down to it. Yeah.
Everything you said was like very Santa. It's like an oxygen bar with like matcha drinks. It's like Ice Cave, like Santa Fe.
Yeah. It was perfect. Yeah, and they also had crystals all over. It was, I mean,
you could rub a crystal on your body for deodorant instead of like, regular, using the aluminum stuff like everyone else. That's pretty funny.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Kristen Ogeen says, I hated the O2 bar. We needed hydration bars.
Just full on water?
Full on water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just also still up your nose.
Still up your nose.
Perfect.
Any orifice you can get it in.
We should open like a seltzer bar, Like these are custom
seltzers.
These are custom seltzers.
Have you guys been to Differential?
Mm-hmm.
I love it that they have like they have hard seltzer, but then they add flavors to it.
Right.
So I think that's such a neat idea.
That is a neat idea. Very cool. So we were talking kind of a little bit before the show, and we kind of stopped so that we could save it. So you live, like you bought, I guess you call it apartment now. A condo.
Yeah.
Condo. You bought a condo and you live right on Central downtown.
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure do.
So how do you feel about that now that like everything is open back up and it's getting a little crazy?
Well, it's weird too, because it's like when me and Kelly decided to get this condo, we already lived right up the street from here, so like we know what downtown's like. And then pretty much everywhere except for when I lived with my parents has either been in the university area or downtown. I've always lived downtown, except when I was in New York.
You're just used to it.
Yeah, I love it. And so then I kept telling Kelly, like, oh yeah, gunshots, whatever. Like it's the same thing as living in a big town or like whatever. It's like the same. And so when we first moved in, because everything was shut down, there seemed to have been at the time more gunshots. Like I really thought like we were hearing them maybe just clearer or because there was no other sounds downtown. A
little closer.
Yeah. And so then I was like, I'm kind of fine with it. And then I don't know, but last night or Friday night was a little wild.
Well, like somebody got killed.
Yeah. So somebody got killed. So we got into the somebody got sent to the hospital. The officer had his like windshield busted, and then at the same time that all that was happening, a car just like ran into that other building. It was like a really. Did you see all that too on Gold?
That was on Gold. Yeah, I thought that was different incidents.
It is absolutely different incidents, but it's like for Art Walk.
Yeah.
That's a lot to happen in one.
Like, I saw the car thing. Like I saw that happening, and I was all weird. I just made an offhanded joke. I'm like, that guy's gonna get a ticket for parking in the handicap.
Sure.
Well, I thought, so I heard about the shooting, and then I saw the car through the window, so I thought it was the same situation. Because like that whole Jesus. They're saying supposedly it was random guys driving around randomly shooting. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And so I thought like, because that street Gold, because like they block off Central now.
Yeah.
So Gold has turned into this like cruise now where it never was before.
No.
So Gold Street on a Friday and Saturday night and even Sunday night now is kind of like rough as shit. Probably not as much Sunday night, but like Friday and Saturday night, it's a lawless area. Like I was walking over there with people from out of town, and there's like a big one of those side-by-side ATVs just driving with cars. And then I was like, wait till you see a four-wheeler. And I go, and then all of a sudden there it was. There was the four-wheeler. And it went up into that parking lot across from the El Rey and just started doing donuts. Jeez. And I was like, oh, welcome to Albuquerque. So
Kelly. I mean, it's a real Yosemite Sam situation.
She says, I guess being from Texas, random shooting doesn't bother me much usually. Yeah. She's all, but that's shooting like a coyote or But of course, it's a shame. So yeah, like you were talking about this, and I agreed with you. Like it's gonna turn like this is like you're like this is how it was way back in the day.
Yeah, it was like the before times. Like this is when they used to have just like cops on horses and like everybody like everybody. As soon as the bars got out, you had to be like, okay, okay,
yeah. I was telling someone
those big surveillance towers. They just you're like, what is going on here?
I remember when I first moved here. Like you're talking, there's like 20 cops downtown, 5 are on horseback. And then and every time I say this one fact, everyone's like, okay. And I'm like, they had wooden swords.
Yes, they really did.
That were like holstered on the horse. And so they could pull the wooden sword out and just hit someone with it.
Hit people.
And people are always like, I don't know about that part. I'm like, no, I'm just okay. Shit, man. And then they had the tower that they would bring down on a trailer. And then it would like, hydraulics would lift it up above so they could see everyone.
Little eagle's nest. Yeah.
And then, as time went on, it was the elephant and the rope, like this, after a while, everybody's like, don't fuck around downtown. So then they took all that away. And then you have like 2 cops now, apparently, that just, I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Just chill, I guess. So
yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I don't know. I love being downtown so much, and I love living downtown. And I think downtown has some of the most cool culture stuff, especially Art Walk. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the one time a month where we're able to be like, yeah.
It's true. It's like having a crawl every month.
Right. They're calling it. They said the LARP. Oh yes, the LARP cops. And then someone says, I remember the horse cops. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they'd always have that police truck with the trailer.
And on Halloween, they would like paint the horses to look like zebras or like tie dye or like whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of miss the smell of horse manure downtown. Like it's just part of the street trucks, horse manure. Drunk people are like, yes, well, that's what I came down here for.
One thing I've started to notice, and this is not just on the First Friday or Art Walk or whatever the hell they call it now, but like people are just going into the liquor stores and just buying like tall boys and just walking down the street, just drinking. And it's
Vegas now.
It's Vegas now. And I talked.
Yeah, they made marijuana legal. They didn't just throw rules out the window.
Right. And I talked to a cop, and he was like, "Yeah, the way it works is like that. We have that barrier down there, and we put those barriers up. You can't drive. So as long as people stay in that area, they can walk around and drink.
Interesting.
And I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. And he was off duty, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm like,
I was like, whoa.
I'm like,
good sir.
I've never heard that. And if that's the case,
I'll be having a whole different time.
Yes, that's a very different Friday night.
I would really like to see that written somewhere.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I feel like that should be told.
Because then this would be my default downtown drink.
Just a full limerita.
Koozie and all. I'd be like,
let's talk about that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to the downtown. So Smiley comes over the other night and hold this fucking thing up. You know? He comes over the other night and he leaves that in my refrigerator. So I wake up the next morning to get breakfast and there's like there's our friend Chemo on a koozie on a half of a limerita. And I'm just literally like, where in the fuck did that come from? And sure enough, I had to think for a second. Then I was like, Smiley was here. Smiley left that in my refrigerator. That's right.
I specifically did. I was like, I'm going to be back on Sunday. I'll just leave this here.
Yeah.
I want a Chemo koozie. That's so cool.
I wonder if she still has it.
Yeah.
That's a good question. You might.
That's like the one item that I've never made for the show, and I just need to do it. I'm just like, it like just seems like it fits perfect, right?
You have to make 10 of them minimum. Like you have to make a pack of 10.
10 of them. So since you've been downtown, have you do you just like go outside on your balcony and like look down and just like shake your head and be like, oh Jesus?
Like the opposite of like Simba and Mufasa, just being like, oh, how dare they? No. Usually I'll just be like, okay, cool. Well, it looks like Safe House is open right now, and then like,
so you're facing that direction.
Yeah. But then I have one little window in my apartment that faces the other direction, and so I can be like, oh, there's no line at Sister, or like, oh, let's go to Anodyne, or like, there's nothing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were on the other side. So you were like looking out off your balcony like someone drove a car in a window.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was at Royal's birthday party that night.
Yeah.
And we walked home, but we had been playing like Flip Cup and like all of the games. And so like we were like, I feel like we walked home kind of like oblivious.
Yeah.
And then we got into our house, and then the next morning we were like, what happened? Nothing happened to us. We had a totally fine night, but around us was like total like a video game level of chaos.
It's almost like, I don't know. The weird thing is like the people who are downtown people, we seem to avoid all these crazy situations.
Yes.
Always. It's like I never people we always talk about it. We're like, oh, did you hear about that stupid shit? Because we're a community, and we'll be like, did you hear about that stupid shit that happened? But it's never like us.
We might be in the vicinity. Like I said, I saw that car like hit. I was all, haha. I was gonna get a ticket.
Kristen O'Geen says, I feel that if that law is true to drink freely in the barricades, it would bring a whole different crowd to downtown.
Man,
I hope it's not true.
Well, they're already doing it. If you're down there, you see it all. You're like, what?
Yeah.
That makes the El Rey, even upstairs, the best bar in town, really. At that point, you just go or you just go get a growler from Bozy and then walk around with a big straw.
Well, and it's like, I was trying to talk to someone. I was talking to some people about this because it's like, it's definitely like it's becoming an issue. And I told someone, I was like, well, I think part of the problem is you had this whole like generation of kids turn 21 during COVID. Yeah. And they don't know the rules.
The rules, yeah.
They just don't. Like, and it's like, and like I was talking to someone and they were a bartender. They're like, exactly. That's exactly. They don't understand the unwritten rules. And they started pointing at me. I was like, there you go. I was like, cool, man. I get it, man. And it's like, you there's definitely unwritten rules when you go into a bar. I mean, there are, you don't, I mean,
they didn't get grandfathered in like the rest of us.
But also, I bet if you turn 21 during COVID, you have like less of a chance of showing up to Anodyne and asking for like a mind eraser or a liquid marijuana or like a Scooby snack or whatever, like
cement mixer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like there's nobody even knows the names of those anymore. So it's just like,
I hope not. Yeah. That would be awesome if that broke the chain of like stupid drinks that kids get. A liquid marijuana.
Sweet and sour mix is just erased from the earth.
Yeah, simple syrup. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I hope that's the case. Smiley's like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm just imagining the amount of times I had to clean up pineapple flavored peanut out of like the bathroom because everyone's like, oh, it's the whole round of pineapple upside down cakes. I'm all, really? Again?
No.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad for me later on.
Birthday cake shots.
Yeah, things like that. I'm like,
ninja sliders.
Oh no.
That's the ones I remember. But like, so there's all these kids that like, number one, like you would go to the art walk. And underage kids would be, first of all, here's the unwritten rule, kids. I'm not condoning drinking underage because it's awful. It's terrible. It's a bad idea. But if you do it, put it in a cup. All Subs has big cups. 7-Eleven has big cups. Circle K has big cups. Walking around with a cider held up in the air so people can see it, like almost like they're like, look at this, look at this, look at this. I'm drinking. Look, guys, I'm drinking. I have a drink in my hand. And it's Kelly says a barback nightmare. Because they always have to clean up the vomit, right? Is that the barback job?
Oh yeah.
It's like, I don't know whose it is. It's always my job. That's any place I've ever worked. I know that. Whether I'm the manager or I'm the busser or I'm the bar, it doesn't matter. It's always my job.
James,
somehow.
bucket now.
Every job I ever had. So in this position, I'm the one that cleans the vomit. Yes, traditionally. Damn it, every time.
Your job interview is like, and what history do you have with vomit?
You're
hired. Done.
You're all none, and they're all. You're not lying in the interview, are you, son?
That's about to change.
Well, we'll teach you. Yeah. Like, fuck.
Well, as the bartender, you have to clean up the bathroom. Really? I thought I'm like basically the manager that has to clean up the bathroom.
Yeah, you manage the vomit. You're the vomit manager. Thank you for the vomit managing. You're like, oh God. So like, I keep seeing all that. The funniest thing is like I had to tell someone like, there's people like, what's downtown like? And I was like, man, I know that like I tell a lot of bullshit things to fuck with people. I fuck with people all the time, but this is the truth. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I saw a line half a block
oh my God
out the door of the distillery.
Yes.
And they're like, no. I'm like, I swear to God, man, there were people waiting in line 20 minutes to go inside of that place.
No. Yeah, I mean, every time, like, I can look out my window and just be like, oh, apparently cake is just really popping off right now. People will like wait all the way down to the chemo in like not even a single file line, like huge groups of
Big
people
groups,
down, and it's like wild.
Well, and like I've heard that cake you can pay to jump the line.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what a fucking awful smart idea.
So you can have your cake and eat it too.
And here's when I was like it hit me last night. I was like downtown. I was trying to figure out what to do. There was really not much going on. I went to the Sawmill Market to go watch the red light cameras. We'll get to that in a little while.
Great.
But I ride my bike downtown. It's 7. This is how I know things have changed in the world. It's 7:45 and people are parking far out of downtown, getting out of the car. I mean, like there's like 6 or 7 in a car getting out to go get ready to go get wherever they're going.
Interesting.
To queue up to stand in line there.
I think they're trying to get ahead of the line. 7:45. I'm like, and there was tons of people doing it. I was like, what is happening here? Because I was riding around looking for like a food truck to get some food from. And there's just tons of people parking. Like I probably saw 10 cars parking, going downtown, headed downtown. And I'm like, wow, the world has changed.
Like this morning, Kelly and I went out for brunch because her birthday's tomorrow.
Okay.
And literally we went to the Grove first and there was a line out the door for the Grove.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, we'll go to the Range that used to be the Standard Diner because it's right down the street.
Yeah.
Again, it was like a half an hour away.
God dang.
It wasn't even at like noon or like whenever, normally brunch gets busy after church gets out.
Yeah.
But we were like, we're beating this by like an hour and a half. And then like they were busy, like DG's was busy, everything all up and down. And then also the new place that just like does toast.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah,
where is that at?
So apparently it's right by the old Capo's place over here. So it's in that like historical house next door.
Oh.
Is what Kelly had said. So she's watching right now, so she might weigh in about things. But also and then she said Java Joe's was also like a line out the door. So everybody shows up every morning and everybody shows up every night and they just want to be out of the house.
And it's that, and it's like there's so many new people that have moved here.
Yeah, that's true too.
And like I'm glad for the businesses, but I hate it. I hate it so much. And it's like, so like my friends, our friends, the red light cameras are playing and they're playing at this Sawmill like market. I go.
Was it the outdoor stage?
Yeah.
Cool.
And the place this is Saturday night, like 6:00. And I mean, it is as full as it can be. Right. more white people than you can shake a stick at, right? So I go over to get a $7 beer from the bar.
Yeah.
And the one of my friends is bartending. And she's like, yeah, man. She's like, not a single person that has come up here knows who the red light cameras are.
No.
Everyone kept asking her, who is this band? How awful is that?
No,
It's
and
like-
they had just done the United game.
Yes. And then
Who is this band? What?
and Java Joe's was around the corner of the Old Park Avenue Pizzeria. Jesus. I see. That's where it's like, this is our neighborhood. And like people are coming in and just like taking all our spots up. And it's like, so then I go out there and they take a break and I'm talking to Joey and Barney. And they're like, yeah, the booker didn't even know who we were. What? He's like from out of town. And he was like, I don't know how he found out that they were like who they were, but someone had told him he should book this band. And he's like, and I'm just sitting there like, this is like, can they move this up to the heights, please? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I love my neighborhood and I love the culture. And like our friend Tammy said it the best. She's like, it's fine if you move here, but don't move here with the idea of we're here to save you.
Oh gosh,
You know?
Thank God for Tammy for saying that, because
Yeah.
that's literally like, there are so many people who come in and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, well, this is it. I'm gonna do the thing
Yeah.
and it's like we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
you know that whole no growth in the state. We do that on purpose.
Right.
Yeah, it's-
we don't.
We're trying for it. We just want to
Like,
reach a nice state of
One
equilibrium.
of us did the shooting downtown
Yeah.
because we
Right.
wanted you out. No.
If you're in the comments right now, guess which one of us three did it.
Yeah, one of us did the shooting.
I was at home all night.
I was at Royal's party, so
I don't know where I was.
Chris has no alibi.
But so I was at this one really in like, I'm trying to be like not as curmudgeon about it because I feel really curmudgeon about everything. But I was at the growers market
Oh.
and I was sitting in the grass, like, drinking a coffee, and this like couple walks up and it's the white guy in the cargo shorts, and he's like, see, honey, they do have nice stuff here. And I was like, oh god dang, if I had a sharpened screwdriver right in your head, brother.
Oh no!
And I wanted to turn around and go, we don't have anything nice here. It's terrible.
Just
Is it
walk by and
blood puddles and
casually
needles?
spill on them.
When I find your
Oh,
house, I'm gonna throw a cocktail at it. It's like, oh gosh,
Oh yeah.
I don't know that but it's weird because you have all of that. Like that's in the morning.
Mhm.
So I was Saturday midday. I'm at 505 Central
Yeah.
eating, and the foot traffic downtown was off the charts. It was like there was an event downtown, but there's not. There's just tons of people walking downtown for like no reason whatsoever. And this sounds weird to like people who don't live here. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, isn't that what you want? Is like
that's what a
foot.
downtown does.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, not
No,
ours.
no.
No. Saturdays, like daytime, that's like Sunday daytime. Sunday daytime is a little different, but
Mhm.
Saturday daytime, people aren't downtown, like just walking around.
No, because it's all the trash from Friday night still out.
Right.
Like that's
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for saying that. Because I made a big point of that, and everybody's like, well, give them a day to clean it up. And I'm like, give them a
Give 'em
day.
a
They
day.
should be doing it while it's happening.
Do we
well,
not?
everybody who's downtown can also be
Yeah.
helping themselves. Like they can clean up a little bit on their way. But
Right.
It's like
Well, when
all the trash cans I saw were overflowing.
But when
Oh,
they're
that's
over, when
true.
all the
Yeah.
trash cans are overflowing,
That's true.
you can't,
that's a good point. That's
Only
very
so
good.
much
It's like-
trash it can
it's
fit in
like a
my
Beck
pockets.
song. All the trash cans are overflowing. It's like, okay. Because like I went 2 different Saturdays after, and all the trash cans were like literally overflowing out into the street, and people had tried to throw their stuff away, but there's no, and it's like, if you're going to have 3,000 people downtown once a month,
There's got to be some infrastructure to support
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, they
Oh,
said
interesting.
this is what happens with gentrification.
Dropping that G bomb.
Yeah.
People just go down the street randomly shooting.
Yeah.
Is that what happens? I thought it went in a different direction.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see that's how we handle it now, Crazy.
Yeah.
You're like 45 minutes to get into fucking distillery.
I don't think so.
It's like I'm over there behind in the alley, like up between gold and silver, and I'm like buying a gun. I'm all, who's got guns, man? Yeah.
I don't need real bullets. Just give me some blanks.
This is how you get radicalized. Like
Yeah.
this idea of
They're
like,
like, yeah, what's up
there's
with the
too many people who enjoy my things.
yeah?
Yeah.
And what's up with the trash mayor? Not you, Maydow, but the actual mayor.
Mhm.
So Maydow is my production company
Mhm,
because
mhm.
mayor of downtown.
Mhm.
Yeah. Everybody's like, what are you gonna do about it? I'm like, nothing, because I don't really have power. That's not a real thing.
No.
You have power with your voice. Come on.
I
You
do.
got a platform.
I do. We do have a
Mhm.
platform, and we're using it right now. We're complaining in a funny way. How's that? How's that work? You know. But like you live like right in. I didn't realize you were on that side. I was like, because I was in so I was at someone's apartment last night. It's funny because like when I first moved downtown, like I lived in Martinez Town for a little while there, and then my roommate Billy left, and then I was like, I'm moving downtown, so I lived on Silver.
Yeah.
But before I found that place, I found an apartment that was next to the launch pad up above.
Oh,
Like
nice.
not directly above, but like to the left, to the to south.
Mhm.
And I was like, what would that have been like? Well, fine, because we would have no music.
Like Rusty lives right over there too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was in someone's apartment kind of near there.
Mhm.
Like when we looked out his window, it was the alleyway behind Launchpad and all that. And there's just people like it's funny, like there's like all these people back there smoking weed, and I wanted to be like, it's legal.
Yeah, you can come on the other side. Come on out.
Smoke it wherever you want.
When I was in New York, I worked in Soho, and like literally every day I'd go to work, and it would just be a place where influencers, like little like Instagrammy kids, were like taking pictures in their fashion against like whatever street art. And that alleyway has become literally that for Albuquerque, where it's like all day, every day, that all those murals are like the backdrops for everybody's Instagrams. And like,
oh, there's always like I'll ride my bike by there, and there's like somebody up on the gas meter, and they're like posing, and then there's someone like literally someone's down there with the big like screen to pull the light onto them, and I'm just like so many people took up photography over COVID. Like I remember one of the first art walks I went to, there was like on one block, the block of which Safe House is on. Yeah. Like there was 3 people with cameras, and like one dude was like, he had his camera, he was looking through a Mercedes-Benz logo and then had buildings in the background. And I was like, you touched a nerve. Oh God, with the influencers. There you go. So
the building over by the old Flying Star too, that has all the jagged like black and white and beige kind of like geometric shapes on it. Always, I've seen a drag queen, I've seen a drummer, I've seen like just fashion people. They all do a photo shoot right up against that exact same background, and I'm like, no.
And then now the Jody mural.
Oh yeah.
Like,
the Somos.
Yeah, and I love Jody. Jody's amazing. And that mural is amazing. And it's that 505 Central building where they have the sticker wall. And that one's like now the new hotness. And like I was over there yesterday because we got new stickers. We got the a good sign made us 15-year anniversary stickers.
Yeah,
there's
good
some to take. Yeah. And
Good.
so I was putting it on the sticker wall, and these 2 guys walk around the corner, and they're all like, what do you? Oh shit! Is this the sticker wall? Oh, I didn't know where it actually was. And guy just like completely flips out. He's like, "Fuck, man! Wow!" Then he's all, "I need to get some stickers made." I'm just like, all right.
Well, yeah, someone that makes stickers needs to put their own sticker up on there. You need stickers made.
Get stickers?
Yeah. And it was
Get
really
some local business in there.
It was just really funny because the guy was like, looked around the corner. He's like, "What are you? Oh, fuck the sticker wall!" And he just like lit up like a candle. Like, he was like, I've been wondering where this is at. Murals is the world, LOL, not wall art.
Yeah, because before that, Krista had mentioned the thing too, where it's like wall art's been a huge thing for Albuquerque.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's also kind of, I think, what pulled people downtown now is like all the art, because like during COVID, like
all the boarded up spaces had and that was cool. I mean, it really was like a neat way to kind of be like, okay, we can still get out of the house, but be safe. Or that was really something.
What do you? So here's a question I have for you guys. So like I found out recently that we have a couple of people who are influencers in town, and they're being paid by businesses.
Interesting.
To like, but like. Here's the rub on that. They're not saying that they're paid, which is against the law.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it is.
It's against policy, like different like Instagram policies. You're supposed to do like a hashtag, like sponsorship.
The Federal Trade Commission has changed the rules. If you are an influencer and you do not if you're paid to like take a picture at a place and flash the peace sign. If you're paid and you do not say that, then that's fraud. That it's an advertisement at that point. And like I found out a big one is if you're like, there's a lot of women that sell these like makeup supplies.
Yeah.
So they've also ruled this is, I didn't know any of this, and I was like, people have turned me on to this. If you sell makeup on social media and you use a filter, that's fraud. It's like, wow.
But a lot of them are getting paid in trade.
Yeah.
So they can do that. That's
maybe
that skirts the law.
But the ones I know of, they're getting paid, like, you know,
like checks.
Wow. And they're not saying it. They're just like showing up at a place and like they'll hold up the drink and then be like,
I love it. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, but the way I look at it though, and I mean, you've been around as long as I've been around. We just aren't those people.
I mean, I would do it. I would definitely
do
it.
No, but like, okay, here's the difference.
I tell people I was doing it.
Okay, here's the difference. Like, if you or I or James goes to a place and we drink there, we drink there.
Yeah.
Or we go to a place and we like eat there, we eat there.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, I'm trying to think of a place.
Well, can I tell you guys? Like, so I went to an influencer night at Electric Playhouse.
I wanted to go with you.
Yeah, and so like it was one of those things where they were like, "Come on out," and like you had to be like, "Are you an influencer here in New Mexico?" and do whatever. So Kelly and I are having like our wedding there. Like, it's like our wedding weekend reception thing. Okay. And like we know like people who work there, and I worked for them last year, so it's not even like a thing where they just like reached out all cold and were like. I have to give a
this is Electric Playground.
Or Electric Playhouse, on the west side,
Oh, is there a different one?
No, but so they had their original office downtown here.
Oh, okay.
And they were doing like the dinners and stuff.
It is the west side,
Yeah, and then now it's over like by the Walmart. It's in an old Staples because that's their whole like business plan or whatever.
I go to that side of town when I'm like.
It's actually pretty cool.
So cool. Like it really is so neat. And like they have all these opportunity to like do some like artsy cool stuff. They had done like a flamenco thing there that had like big visuals around it that were all projected, and they do yoga there and all kinds of so they do things that are more than just like little games or whatever. And the games are also extremely like it's very neat to like have a projection that you're able to kind of go like boop or like whatever. So for the influencer night, I went with my friend Chelsea, and we literally went like screen by screen, and I was like, for the wedding, this is what I want to do here. This is what I want to do here.
See, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. And so and since then they've reached out, kind of being like, hey, it was so nice to have all y'all out. Like, if you see stuff with Electric Playhouse, will you just like give us a little bump? But it's not like a paid thing. There's no checks or anything. It's just like this building of relationships, which I think. In New Mexico in particular, and I remember from working at Dion's, like we built relationships everywhere.
Sure.
But it wasn't a thing that was like commodified the way that like influencer stuff is. And it's different now.
What I'm saying is like I feel like if someone's downtown and they're clearly not like, we know who the fucking people are. And we see through that kind of shit. Like I've tried to explain this. Like here's when I know things are bad. When over by the roundabout a Starbucks opens, it's a bad day. But like chain things open downtown and people just don't go to it.
No.
Like I remember next to Anodyne, they opened some, and I don't remember the name. It was some
gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. Some Irish. It was in Posh.
Okay.
It was some Irish pub chain.
Oh.
And everybody's like, and everybody goes, Maloney's? I go, no. Maloney's was there. This is when 4th Street was still closed. So there was Maloney's, then there was like this place.
I remember when it opened because I remember being like, where can we do a comedy show in there? And they were like, there was nothing. There was like not even a corner where you could like have people. And then there was like some base, like some balcony way up in the top, but it wasn't even like a real. And I was like, what a disappointment. They're not even thinking about.
No. And I just remember going to Anodyne. This is how bad downtown people are for like not liking chain stuff. I'm standing in line to get an Anodyne, and I can see into this bar, and there's only one table with people at it. So I could literally walk out of this line, walk into that place and drink. And I don't.
Nope.
And no one does else.
And no one else did.
And it shuts down immediately. Like it was 3 months maybe. This is a big one. Someone just wrote, I got approved to be a Macy's ambassador. And it was a possibility that I could be paid if they shopped through my link. In my training, they said that by law, I had to disclose that I was posting an ad and I may not ever get paid. Also, I bought my own merchandise. So if you're absolutely getting paid, then you absolutely need to disclose this.
That's for real.
Wow.
That's a really great like peek behind the curtain about things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made it like that because you had the Kendall Jenner and those guys, and they were like basically getting paid millions of dollars to like post that they like these things, and they didn't really use that shit at all. And it's so weird that we have like, it's so weird that that's where we're at now here. It's like, what? Like, that's like LA shit. That's like New York shit. It's like not, Duke City, someone getting shot at the chemo kind of craziness.
I will say too that like that corner of the chemo effects and Lindy's and the 505 is some like a powder keg for right now. Like anytime you walk down there, there's some times where I'll be like, let's just go to Red Door because I don't want to even cross that street because you'll have the preachers who are screaming. You'll have just like people who don't know where they are and are asking like questions or like trying to like, or like a jaywalk without like, And then, so it's just like, there's like a lot of tension right there. Whereas I used to think that the real tension in downtown was one block down at 4th Street.
Where the library,
on
4th. Yeah, because Billy used to make a big thing about that. He'd be like, yeah, we're not south of 4th Street people. Yeah. He would always say that, and he was like kind of a joke, but it kind of wasn't.
No, sure.
Because that's like where Maloney's was. That's kind of where Library was. Is Library even open?
Often it seemed like they were, but they still had their windows boarded up.
Okay. Because like I'm feeling like it's weird. Like this is gonna sound awful, but like
I saw people on I keep walking by people on their patio.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to be
like
there.
This sounds awful, but like I'm like these bars that I don't like. I never in my life thought I was like happy to see them open, so that the people that go to those would get the fuck away from the place I go to. Someone just brought up something really good in the chat that I haven't thought about in a long time.
I know. This is
It's sad, but it's like off topic. But speaking of Anodyne, do you remember Mickey Mouse at the door?
Oh, of course.
I do. And then like all of a sudden, it's so weird. So for people who are listening that aren't from Albuquerque,
I had to open my own door. It was bullshit.
You would go to Anodyne, and there was this homeless like black guy, and he would sit there in a chair, and he had one Mickey Mouse hand. And then he had like the Mickey Mouse ears.
Glove. I mean, we don't know what was inside that glove.
Right. He had a glove. Sorry, glove. And then he had the Mickey Mouse ears. Mm-hmm. And he would wave and he would open the door for you, and then you would tip him. He wanted a tip. Mm-hmm. Like, and I would always give him $1, and people would always be like, why are you giving that guy $1? I'm like,
he opened the door.
Yeah.
And I would always say this. I'm like, hey man, I don't know like what could happen. Like somebody could start beating the shit out of me on the street, and I give that guy $1 every time I see him, and maybe he'll fucking help me not get the shit kicked out of me on the street. But so like I kept going, I remember like going, and then all of a sudden I just, never saw him and then didn't think about it. And then one day I was walking down the stairs and I was like, hey, where's the Mickey Mouse guy? And someone's like, oh, I heard he like froze to death and died.
No.
Yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah. Just sad. That's very sad, but
God, no.
What? In his car? He always parked his car right in front of Anodyne.
I don't know. That's what they said. Or he passed away.
I was going to say, that's an urban legend. That has to be.
I was going to say, I'm like,
it could be. It could be. I mean, who knows, But it's funny because like you have those characters.
He had this wonderful old ship brown sedan. He parked it like right there.
Yeah. Because like if I say the Bob Dylan guy.
Oh yeah.
You know exactly who I'm talking about, and everybody's like, he just plays Bob Dylan. He doesn't, but he will.
There's this guy on campus when I was going to UNM that had a soul patch, and he played techno, and he just walked around playing techno, and that was like he was a big guy for that time.
Have you seen? Okay, and I know you have. The guy that's in the electric wheelchair that has like the canopy over him and he wears a mask?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never seen this guy.
He's new. He's been around a couple, like since COVID has ended. Mm-hmm. He has a little like electric wheelchair that has like a back thing that goes up, and then he has like a little canopy that goes over him, and he has like things that come off the back of that.
Oh.
And he plays music, and he like moves the wheelchair like to the music, and he has a mask that he wears.
Okay, I would remember this.
Okay. Wow.
That's why. I mean, I've seen a guy like on a scooter that's sitting on a speaker. That
guy.
Is that him?
I've seen I've seen that guy too. He has like whenever we had the scooters downtown. Yeah. Like I don't know how much money that guy spent
just to like have it all day long to play.
He would rent those like scooters.
I love those things.
What are those called? What were they? The Ring or what's
Birds were the ones in LA, and then these ones were like maybe Ring scooters,
something like that.
Yeah,
I think I still have the app on my phone.
See, so here we go. Yeah. Yes, I love the electric wheelchair guy. He jams. Yeah.
Sure does.
And like I was sitting there walking up to Comic-Con and he was on the corner just like left and right with the stick on this thing, like blasting music, just like, dancing with the chair, But like the guy, I've seen that guy with the fucking scooter. He has like a speaker that's I assume it's like rechargeable.
It's like Bluetooth and
But it's like a 2.5 foot tall speaker. And he like straps it to the rentable scooters with a fucking bungee cord, sits on it as it's a seat, and like rides around downtown just blasting music for like hours. Yeah. And you're like, oh, all right. But I love that kind of fucking
that stuff.
It's good to have a hobby.
Yeah. Right. If you're going to fucking blow like $30 a day on some shit,
Maybe the scooters were surprisingly cost effective.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You remember that we had the show at the box, and I went all around to make sure all the scooters downtown, you had to come to the box to get them.
Oh,
that was so smart. I was there that night too, and I was like, well, this is a great idea. This is awesome.
That's pretty funny. See, but that's like the kind of cool, I don't know. Like people, like when I moved here, they're like, oh, downtown is dangerous. You don't go down there. And then I remember like, oh, okay. And then like I finally started going downtown and I was like, this fucking place is awesome. It's like untouched like amazingness. And it's like how often did you and I cross paths before we really knew each other? Like just hundreds of times.
It had to be like that. Mm-hmm.
Especially like the art bar days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I look back at those days, like, and then like people have like weird, like, urban myth stories about the art bar.
Isn't that so interesting too?
Yeah. They're like, I heard it closed and I know exactly everything that happened. You know, everything that happened. And it's like, people have like these crazy like ideas. And, if you live downtown and if you like are part of the tapestry of like downtown, cool things happen randomly.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, what do you mean by that? I mean, like, James can attest this. There was many a Sunday night at the Blackbird when they closed that we were there till like 4 a.m, just drinking,
The dream. That's so nice. The dream.
And, like,
oh, yeah. I mean, that happened well after you guys didn't even know I worked there.
No, we had
Why
no
does
idea.
Smiley get this special treatment? What?
I'm an employee.
Well, and it's funny because, like, when you're friends with like people, and I know this happened to you, like they'll have like the Christmas party or the employee party, and you get invited, you're like, whoa, and you're kind of like, I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here, And I remember like the Blackbird would throw their Christmas party in like the summertime because they couldn't afford it in December because December was a bad month for them, so they would do it in the summer, right? So they invite me. They're like, yeah, you come here a lot, so like we're inviting you. And I was like, this is awesome, and they hired my friend Tiff to be the bartender.
Yeah.
They would hire like a bartender from another bar to come over. So she comes over there. They got Taj Mahal.
Oh yeah.
And
that was delicious.
I just remember I'm sitting in there like at the bar, and it's like open bar, anything you want to drink for free. And then like all the employees are there, all their dates, da da da. And I look over and there's James. And I'm like,
good
James,
sir.
And I'm like, James, what are you doing here? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, this is the employee party. And he's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh. I just walked in.
Yeah. I didn't know.
And they don't do shit. Like he stays, like they don't fucking ever say nothing, and it's like, all right, fuck it.
No one stopped me. I was like, I walked in. Like no one said it's an employee party. I go up, I'm like, oh cool, Tiff's here. Hey, can I get like a gin and tonic? And she's like, I don't know, can you? And she looks over at Brian, and Brian's like, yeah.
Absolutely.
And just like shit like that. Like that's just fucking like, and that's like the things that I'm like, don't fuck this up. But it's like
I looked around, I was like, so does that mean this food is free? Oh, nice.
Yeah. I just like, and it's funny because like I was at when everything started opening up, you had to go to it, and you kind of had to like really just be happy that everything's open. And then I finally like was sitting there one night in Launchpad, and it'd been like the 4th or 5th time I went. I walk in and I go to get a drink, and there's just shitloads of people surrounding the bar, and they're like standing up on the stage that's the little one, and they're like just arms are crossed, and there's like like, God, fucking damn it. And then I just lean in and they're like, they just point at me and I'm like, PBR. They're like, and hand it to me. And then everybody's like, what the fuck? And I just walk away and I'm all, local privilege, bro.
Yeah.
Just walk away. And I'm like, local privilege is back, guys.
That still works at Anodyne.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Especially if
sure.
you're tall. You just can, I can see you in the back. They make some gesture like, whatever's good.
Yeah.
Well, they have that signage now where they're like, you don't have to stand at the corner anymore. You can
Yeah.
stand all around the bar, and people still line up. And so then if you just kind of go around, and then you're like, hey, I'm here a lot. Then they're like, oh, please, yes, here. And then
Well, the worst thing I ever saw is like some couple that were like clearly not regulars
Mhm.
went up to the corner because like some, used to the bar was like, full of people.
Mhm.
So that corner was like where you ordered. So this couple like goes up there, orders, gets their drink, and just stays there.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, I love that was awesome.
No.
That was awesome. I wish I'd had that guy. You're like, oh no, like your anxiety just like shut up. And I'm just like standing behind them. I'm like, I need to order, and they're like, oh, and like they thought they just got some prime spot at the bar to hang out at. I was like, you must be out your mind. Are you crazy?
It's like when you walk by, I see someone like standing in what's clearly like a wait station.
Oh man.
Oh,
So
They
that
have their arms up. They're like, I'm just gonna.
Blackbird
post
was
this
bad
here.
about that too, where
So-
like people would go.
oh, Burt's too.
Burt's. Oh man, that
Mhm.
was the worst place to do it.
But that's all like that. Like you don't understand the rules of the bar,
Mhm.
and that's those like kids that are like,
Birds that had that sign up.
And
yeah.
they're like,
That
please,
said,
please
"Do
don't
not
stand here.
And then on the other side, it's had its arrow pointing down. Oh, this person is an asshole.
Yeah. But then Burt's was also like, don't get too thirsty. It'll be a good 20 minutes before we get you a drink. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true. That's very true.
and then
Always
they
good to order by pairs.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd always order 2 beers.
Yeah.
I need 2 beers for me and my friend. And they're like, where's your friend? Over there.
They're like, okay, great, $1.50.
I always loved because they always had the mystery drink, the
Mhm.
mystery beer.
Mhm.
And it was like, well, I miss a good place like that,
Mhm.
where it's just a fucking shithole.
I wish we had a place that did the thing where it's like, you can put down the money, and then we'll put the
Mhm.
name up on the bar for whoever you're buying the drink for, and then they can come in and cash it in.
Mm,
Like those places are really cool.
yeah.
And then you're already like prepaying for them, and so it's not like it's illegal or they're getting a free drink or anything.
Right.
It's like literally like,
Sidetrack
Just-
does that.
Yep.
I love
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, here's the one thing I don't like about it.
Mhm.
Like I went and I was like, I have 2 beers. Who the fuck bought these beer for me? Like and like so now I've got this like, who did this? Who did
Well,
this?
This is your platform to be like, whoever
know.
did this, make yourself
Yeah,
known.
I had 2 beers
Mhm.
up there. Who bought those beers for me? you make yourself known. You've given me anxiety for months. I'm just kidding.
We need a pizza place that'll do that too.
Oh, I
Where they'll
agree.
be
You
like-
buy a slice.
Mhm, and then
I've
you give a
heard about
slice.
that. Yeah. So like, yeah, I'm with it. Have you gone to Holmes?
No, but I want to so bad. Like
it's good.
Do they still have all? Do they have like arcade games and stuff in there? Or
So, have you been in that when Monks was there? Did you ever go there?
no, but I've looked at the like actual like real estate like
Okay.
flyer for it, so I know.
All right. So the way Monks was set up was like it was right on the corner, and it was like this tap room, and it was fine. Like it looked like a Starbucks inside.
Mhm.
Like when I say that, you walked in and they had their merch station was in the middle in a
Oh.
kiosk, and I was like, that's odd. But we ended up like when I first went in that tap room, I didn't like it, but then we ended up liking them because they were really good to us.
Yeah.
So then like next door was a taco place,
Yeah.
and there was no barrier. Like there was like so I don't know. Once you see it, you'll understand. So there's like a 3/4 wall across, and then a space, and you could walk into that other restaurant.
I looked into it to be like a comedy space because
Yeah.
I thought how cool to
Okay.
have like at least a little bit of a separation between one room
Yeah.
and the other. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. So
So the arcade is in the taco place,
oh, cool.
and
That's great.
I got to like I remember like when I got to go like we went to go get pizza over COVID. We got to pick it up, and the guy was like, "You want to see what the arcade looks like?" I was like, "Fucking A, I do."
Mhm.
And it is as traditional an arcade as I've ever seen it. So like all around the outside of the room is pinball machines, or like they have that hockey game
Uh-huh.
with foosball handles
Mhm.
where the little hockey players everybody's like air hockey. I'm like no, the ones where the little
Mhm.
player like rotates.
Mhm.
And so there's pinball machines. I mean, they probably have a good 15 pinball machines, and then
It's great.
they do the arcade machines back to back in the middle. So it's like it's such a nostalgia trip. And then my friend was like, "Well, half the games don't work," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's an arcade."
It's an arcade.
Well, and here's the one plus for it. every arcade machine has a cup holder on it.
The dream. It's
It's,
the
I'm
dream.
like,
Right.
this is great. I'm playing pinball and it has a
Yeah.
cup holder right next to it. I'm like, nice.
I will say this though, the thing that really flips me out though is like $1 a game pinball is kind of fucking crazy.
Today, Kelly and I went to Sister, and we were like, let's play a little bit of pinball. Like, let's do it. And so we went to the Elvira machine because, of course, that would be like
Yeah.
the one to go to. And it was like $1, and I was like, okay.
What kind of shit is this?
3 balls. It's like not even like a quarter a ball. Like so then we moved to the Deadpool one next door, and we were like, $2 out. We're done. I guess we're done.
Yeah.
But
That's a little crazy, right? Like,
I still have the pinball hands though, because when we were at Homes,
sorry, James. I'm sorry that you have the pinball hands.
okay, while we were at Homes, right? I popped 2 different machines.
oh,
That
Oh,
one,
yeah.
so you get an extra game.
That's always I love that sound and I can't do it. It's like that. And you're like, yeah, it's very satisfying.
You look around to see if other people noticed.
Yeah, you do. You're like, I got a free game here. Not because of skill or anything. It just happened. But it's interesting because like they have the Dolly Parton one,
oh,
a pinball machine there, and like the right flipper is a little bit laggy. But they do have this pinball machine. My buddy was like, it's my favorite one. And I think it might be my favorite one now. It's like World Cup Soccer or whatever.
yeah, with
Yeah,
the dog, like the little
yes.
dog on it. Mhm.
And like, oh my God, the spinning soccer ball, and like you hit the ball into the goal, like the goalie tries to stop it. I'm like, this might be my favorite one. It's dope.
Yeah, so Kelly and I have got to go there immediately.
Yeah. And then they help. What's the other one? They have a Stranger Things one there. now. Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Which sucks because I mean I love that one, but like they took out the T2 one, and I always loved that one.
With the big head, like in the thing. Mhm.
And then like for the instead of the pullback thing for the ball, it was just a gun.
Gun.
Yeah.
Do they have Medieval Madness? That's my favorite
No.
pinball machine. So all the voices in that game were Tina Fey and the guy who played Pete on 30 Rock, because they had like reached out to them while they were still like brand new little improvisers at Second
wow.
City. And so like it's always been my dream to be like, oh, I'm gonna have Medieval Madness in my house if I ever win the lottery, because I'll have this cool like Tina Fey machine.
Oh, they're like that one
Wow.
like just sucks you into the upside down.
The
That's
Strangers
funny.
thing one. Yeah.
And then they have the Jurassic Park one.
Oh, I love that one
So
too.
you're like playing other games and you hear the Jurassic Park theme. Yeah. And that's so funny. It's like you know which one is probably my favorite video, and I don't know if they still have it in. It's the fucking Addams Family.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
I love that because like Thing will come across to do the thing at the end to pop the game, and you're like, Thing.
I like the NBA Jam one, where if you get like a bonus, you actually get to like flip the flippers into making like
I have never
you
seen
shoot
that.
a ball into. Oh, it's so fun. And it's old. It's really really old. Most of the ones that still exist,
Yeah.
the like fiberglass is so busted that like you can't even see like where your basketball is going through. But it's pretty amazing.
Well, have you seen? And I'll end on this. Have you seen have you heard of the company Arcade 1UP? I'll pull it up here.
That's
So-
the one at the mall.
No.
That's
They
the
make
one.
they make
Tilt at Windrock Mall.
no. This company makes home versions of games, right?
Neat.
And they're like 3/4 size,
Uh-huh.
right? And they have some that I'm just like, I want the NBA Jam one so
Mhm,
bad,
mhm.
and
He's heating up.
yeah, and I mean they're not crazy. Like I want to say like $400,
That's not too bad.
but they have a Buck Hunter one now, and yeah, see they have like tabletop ones,
I love it.
and they sell them like at Walmart weirdly or Costco, but they have an X-Men one. They have the NBA Jam one, and you can actually network it and play other people that have that have it online.
Okay, that's amazing.
That's so cool.
The Mortal Kombat one has 1, 2, and 3 on it.
Oh,
It's not just
cool.
one game. It's
that's worth 400.
and the weird thing is they have a pinball machine for Star Wars,
Mhm. Oh,
and it looks like if let's see if they have it on the site. It looks like a pinball machine. Like it looks like a pinball machine by looking at it.
Oh, go back up. I think
Yeah, I
I might
thought
have
I
seen
saw
it.
it.
No, that's the Star Wars old arcade game.
okay.
That's not the pinball one.
Oh.
Like the pinball one looks like a pinball machine,
Rampage looks great too.
but it's not a pinball machine. It's digital.
oh, cool.
but and everybody's like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, no,
Mm-mm.
it has 10 Star Wars pinball games. And they said, I've watched the review, and they said that the force feedback of it, like you forget that it's not analog.
The force feedback.
Yeah.
The
There it is right there. See, Star Wars pinball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It has a
it's
screen
digital.
on the
And
inside.
it
All
looks
right.
like a pinball machine,
Mhm.
but see, that's a digital screen in there.
Oh,
so-
it still lets you tilt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, like, it has 10 different Star Wars pinball games on it. And so, I mean, I think that would be super cool, but
I think that what we need here in Albuquerque.
I'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at all that. Jeez Louise. Holy moly.
Wow.
Games included Boba Fett, A New Hope, Arch to Island, which I have no idea what that is. Battle of Mimban. Like, what is that? I want to play all those. But what were you saying?
I think we need a skee ball bar.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just skee ball and just like local beer, local wine, local spirits. And then that way, it is the shortest Tinder date or Bumble date you'll ever have to go on ever. You just show up, you get one beer each, you play one game of skee ball, and then you can decide, hey, do we want to keep this going, or have we had a good time, or do we want to go somewhere else?
Oh,
And then like a skee ball is like so haptic. Like I just feel like there's like a
Yeah.
lot of like, it's
Yeah.
and it's really throwbacky, and but you don't have to go to Hinkle to do it. Like you can do it
Mhm.
downtown, and then
that'd be cool.
you can do league play, you can do like speed dating,
Wow.
you can do a whole bunch of stuff.
It's crazy. Like, well, we'll tease that. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about like the league play of things nowadays.
Yeah.
Because I've heard different like what, like that's a thing now. So Sarah, what do you have coming up that you want to promote?
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked. I'm going to New York on Thursday, so I've got a show in New York. And then when I come back, we have a whole bunch of amazing comics who are coming to town next month. So we've got Neil Rubenstein, who is a comedian from New York, and he's going to be at Sidewinders with me on Monday, August 4th, I think it is. And then we have Jake Flores, who is a really amazing, and he's got a great podcast also. He's coming August 18th. Here's the deal about all of these things. Is like, no matter what, you can just find out the dates of them because I'm going to make flyers for them. And they'll be up on my website, which is sarahkcomedy.com.
She's going to put a flyer on your car.
Yeah, I will. I'm not above it.
When are those days
Yeah.
coming back?
I know. I'm excited about that.
Anything else?
I'm just like, I mean, every Wednesday I'm at Sidewinders and I host their open mic and karaoke. And up until lately, it's been starting at 9, but I think it's actually going to start earlier so they can do dancing afterwards because now everything's opened up. So
People love dancing.
people love dancing.
I missed it so much.
James, what do you got going on?
A whole lot of nothing. No one has sent in any screenshots.
No.
From
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead, or if those that wish me dead. So,
And you've found yourself like 2 or 3 times.
well, I'm all over. Like, I'll give you a hint. I'm only in the first 20 minutes of that
Yeah.
movie.
But it's funny because like he shows
I'm
me
in
him,
like
and
7
it's like
different.
he shows me him, and I'm like, okay, all right, fair enough.
I can't stand zombie movies. Otherwise, I'd be there immediately being like, there he is, he's right there.
It's I'm with you, but I think it's good.
Okay.
I liked it. I've watched it twice now because of like I had to go back because there's so many Easter eggs in it.
There is actually.
There's a lot like that Zack Snyder put in. It's like crazy, and it's I don't know. It's more of an action film,
I've heard that there's zombies that are robots, and that's not explained.
right?
Like and so it's like,
Yep. Like there's like all kinds, but like people like keep finding it.
Mhm.
And here's the funny shit about it. It's filmed partly here.
Yeah.
And the like when they film stuff here, like they'll film the outside of a place, and then the inside will be completely different. Nope. They film the Lucky Boy, and then they go in, and it's the Lucky Boy. And like so many people, I guess, are now like flocking to the Lucky Boy, and I'm just like, that's hilarious. They'll actually have to clean.
I used to want to do like a tour the way that people do Breaking Bad tours,
Yeah.
but of the spots that were in the movie Sunshine Cleaning. Like I was obsessed with Sunshine Cleaning for no reason.
I like that movie.
I love it, and there's so many amazing little spots in Albuquerque that I will still drive by and be like, oh yeah, that was in Sunshine Cleaning, and like nobody remembers that movie. There's
I
no
do.
way. But yeah, I know. So do you want to go on my fun tour where I go like, there's the cleaning place,
All right.
and over here's the auto body shop, and here's Hinkle Family Fun Center.
Yes,
They
okay.
recently.
Here's how much I liked it. Like I was like, that guy's really not. He has 2 arms.
Yeah.
And I had to go look it up, and I had to find the cast picture
of him with
the green screen glove on, so they could erase his arm. And I was like, I knew it. I was in the theater. I was like, that guy's got an arm. I know that guy from movies. And that was a good movie. And I remember watching it in the theater because it was filmed here. And someone's like, that's me. Like, I just heard someone in the theater yell at him. That's me. And I love that. I love that kind of shit. It's like, I don't care how bad or good the movie is. If someone was like, I'm in this, I'm in it. I'm for it. I'm here for you guys.
That is the reaction you get. No matter how many times. I'm like, well,
that's me. That's me. And I've been in the theater multiple times when that's happened, so it's weird. But like, what do we got going on? Not too much, really. Gosh. Just 15-year anniversary.
Yeah.
This next Saturday, we are doing our 15-year anniversary show. It will not be live on the internet.
That's so you have a quality product, though.
That's right. We are going to film this show. Billy Belmont will be in town. He will be on the show. I'm not going to tell who that. There's more people.
Yeah.
There's more. We have a couple more guests. I'm going to tease that. Like, you guys are going to have to wait. There's going to be a couple surprises that are going to be on the show, and I will not be hosting that show.
Interesting.
I'll tell who that is, but from True Consequences podcast, Eric Carter Landine will be hosting 10 Drink Minimum, and there will be an extensive Q&A because we will have an audience, and it will be actually outside this north wall of the building. And Safe House Distilling is sponsoring it, as well as A Good Sign, and we will probably be getting some beer from Bell's Brewing as well. So it's going to be pretty dope. If you really want to come, I'm not opposed to it, but you need to like personally message me because it's not going to be open to the public. So
Woo-hoo!
It's going to be pretty dope. It's pretty exciting. Like, people are flying in. It's been a crazy ride. So excited. But so let's get ready for let's take a break here and come back for the Wavy Billy Hour. We have Sarah filling in for Holly Ann because Holly Ann's like, I had a baby. And it's like, okay, I guess.
It's a big process. Yeah.
Apparently.
He's real cute.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he's pretty cute. Yeah. So we hope her speedy recovery. We're glad Sarah's filling in. Yeah. I think that's good. Are we good?
Yeah.
All right.
I got nothing else.
We definitely drink. We do the show. You should as well. But always remember,
never get too drunk to jerk. 10drinkminimum.com.
Sarah's like,
I'll do that.
Fingers looking at the light switch, as the sun's a light going whoa. It's cost me a bar on the way to someplace new. As you lay your hand just where it falls, leave the light switch on. As cars speed by on the way to someplace switch on. Light switch on, light switch on, wait for something, light switch on. Light switch on, light switch on, wait for something, light switch on. To find things I'm never supposed to see, try to resist desires inherent to forgiveness. You find yourself giving in, try to resist. Try to switch on, switch on, switch on, switch on. Should I switch off? Switch off, switch off, switch off. Should I switch off? Switch off, switch off. Boys feel right at home, throw some coffee on the stove. Wash your hands on the face, boy, you can't say grace with a mouth full of skull. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. Everybody gets down, sweet potato, and I'll come around to see that feeling like a steal. Things won't kill me so. Waiting for too long, Lord, please say you'll come and forgive me for what I've done. But I can't clean that down, throw some water on me. Wash your hands on the face, boy, you can't say grace with your mind full of good. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. Everybody is down with my finger on the trigger. I'll come around to see that sin like a demon. Spring will kill my soul. Waiting for too long, Lord, please say you'll come and forgive me for what I've done. Across these fields, the home, these ships grow old, kind of tall. These hills are not for so long. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. Silver hands with a body of the moon. I'll come around. See, I take it all away, so I kill my silver soul. Show me the book you live by. Oh, to stand for. I'm gonna turn around and repent. And soon we're gonna cry about how Jesus our friend. And soon we're gonna cry about how I will end. Show me the book you live by. Oh, to stand for. I'm gonna turn around and repent. And soon we're gonna cry about how Jesus our friend. And soon we're gonna cry about how I will end. I will end.
sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
Oh man, sorry. Well, it's the wavy hour, man. Give us a break, yo. We came back in hot there. We're back. We're live. It's the last party of the weekend. James is here.
Hey, everyone.
There he is. And filling in for Holly, we have Sarah Kennedy.
Hi.
You know, and it was funny because, like, I don't know if you know this, but like, whenever Holly's like, yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm assuming you're going to need to take some time off for this child. No, and I'm just kidding, but I love it. And I said, who would you like to replace you like while you're gone? And I let her choose, and she was like, I want Sarah. And I was like, well, I was hoping that was who you chose. That's a, you know.
Well, I live real close, so that's also a big help.
That's why I was like, she lives close. Good. Because Holly,
she could not live further.
she lives in. Should we say the name that should not be said? Rio Rancho.
Russia. Yes.
Oh.
No, that's right. Rio Rancho.
Rio Rancho. Named one of the safest cities in New Mexico.
Lame.
Boring.
I knew a guy in New York who was just like, oh yeah, no, Albuquerque's amazing, and he made me bring him back like Frontier tortillas all the time.
Oh wow.
But he lived in Rio Rancho, and he never told me like why he lived there, and he like was such a, like a New Yorkie guy that I was like, was this like a witness protection thing? Because that's like the whole thing about Rio Rancho.
That's like the rumor.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard this. I've heard it's retired New York police.
Whoa.
And then I've heard it's like witness protection people. Yeah.
So they can keep an eye on each other.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Right.
You.
Well, like, okay. So there's definitely places like around town that have like existed, and you're just kind of like, how is this existing?
Mm-hmm.
Like Capos.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
And like finally, like here's the funniest thing is like Capos is like this Italian food restaurant that everyone has like forgotten exists. And it's on the corner of 8th and Central, right at the roundabout, like right near everything.
Yeah.
And like, you'll be like, yeah, that Italian food place downtown. And everybody's like, what Italian food place downtown?
Right.
Like the one that's on the corner by the roundabout. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, here's the funny part about that is like, I finally was like, I was
That's
like,
the one-
yeah.
That's
Did
the
you
one with the patio, right?
yeah.
The most beautiful like Italian
Yeah.
patio. Yeah.
Have you eaten there?
No.
Awful.
No.
Awful.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard.
And so then like one day I was like, yeah, they're closing. And people are like, it's about time. And I was like, no, they're closing because they're retiring.
Yes.
And then they're like, that's a twist there. Didn't expect that. And I was like, right? Like,
Do they own that property outright? How are they like
I think
staying
so
there?
because they got it. Yeah, it was like a family thing for a long time.
yeah.
But now it's gonna be steak and tapas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'm.
Yeah.
I go for that. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful patio.
Mhm.
I would like go and like look at their like Capo's
no.
Yelp reviews.
No.
Have you seen these?
No.
I don't know why it says San Francisco immediately, but like, let's see. But like, people are like, you might as well just put ketchup on spaghetti. Like, and it's like hilarious. Like, I love that kind of shit. Like, we used to do the 1-star Joe, like Joe Carrero reviews.
Oh my gosh.
Those are the best.
Joe's always is like every time I'm there and people have like an adverse reaction to it, I'm like incorrect, but also understandable.
So 97 reviews. They're 3-star. Let's find a good 1-star review for Capos here. Oh man. There we
Olive
go.
Garden has a higher
Okay.
rate.
This is from Brian P. from Salt Lake City, Utah. So I don't know about his Italian food eating, but where do I start? Someone down below said the lasagna looked like dog food. Not true. It looked and tasted like dog food.
Oh,
The place hasn't been updated since Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Then the very nice lady used her hands to pick up a block of cheese and grate out food. On the bright side, the bread wasn't too stale. Lord knows what the kitchen must look like. I saw an emergency walk-in clinic close by. Where's that at?
What?
Make a
Yeah,
note
where?
that for when you leave, as you stomach may need pumping. I don't know. That's how I wrote it. 1 star, and 98% of the star belongs to the very nice lady who was the waitress who needs to wear gloves.
Oh, Dan,
man.
you're right. It did.
Yeah, Dan's excited about it. So steak and tapas.
Yeah, steak and tapas. And actually they're about to completely redo Hotel Blue too.
I've heard this.
And they're gonna restore it back to how it looked during Route 66.
Okay.
And so like to have that, and then
That's
to have the
that's
steak and tapas place
yeah.
across the street.
That seems like
so
weird because I remember when they updated it so it didn't look like it.
I know. I
Yeah,
remember
I
that
know.
too. I remember that too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
went and stayed. So when I didn't live downtown, when I first moved to Albuquerque, we were stupidly go to New Year's Eve downtown,
Mhm, mhm.
and we would rent a room there. And you went in, and they had like it was like $75, and you had like a Tempur-Pedic bed, and then you had the old. Sorry, there's sirens in the background. We're downtown.
Downtown, man.
This
So-
is normal.
You had the old media center for the old CRT TVs. And so they'd taken those out. And since there wasn't a TV in there, they saw the media center, but they didn't have the TV. So to replace the TV, they put the electric fireplace
Oh boy. Oh boy.
and then a flat screen TV above. And I was like, I thought it was nice. I mean, it's good for graffiti now.
Mhm. Well, see that throwback hotels on Route 66. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Like that's kind of what we're trying to like. Because
Yeah.
Elvado really kind of like brought that all
Started
back
it.
for us. Yeah.
I remember, so I lived in Old Town, and I feel like I'm just telling all the places I've lived today. So I lived in Old Town, and I remember when they brought that up, they were like, we're going to redo this whole area. And I was like, okay. And it took like 5 or 6 years, and I'd already moved. But Elvado is awesome,
Mhm.
except for the parking.
Yeah, the parking's really difficult.
It is terrible.
Technically, we should be walking distance. Technically, it's just I don't.
That's a good distance right there.
I don't know. Once you get to like 14th Street, everything just kind of like falls in line into like the next little chunk of West Downtown.
I mean, that's where I do
But-
my murdering. And so like
Sure.
I don't
And
want
nobody
to
should move here.
I don't want to blend like work and
Mhm.
play. I'm just kidding.
I want people noticing me on the street.
They're like, hey, that's the guy that killed all those people earlier. And I'm like, I'm off right now.
Guilty.
I'm guilty, but I'm off. I'm off the clock right now. So this is embarrassing. Yeah.
So Ross is mentioning the thing about like including more neon downtown. I'm so excited to. Yeah, Dan, nice, killing it.
I got them a parking variance from the city.
Thank you, Dan.
Sorry, more neon.
Are you guys that neon park that they're trying to build like
Yeah.
over? I'm so
On Lomas.
excited for it. Yeah.
Lomas? Yeah.
Yeah, and like every time I drive by, because it got like put on hold or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be such a cool thing. Just get to walk around and see some cool
Mhm.
old Route 66 neon.
Yeah. Like, so one thing that I've gone to Vegas a couple times in my
Yeah.
life. One thing I completely miss every time, and I need to do it, is the neon graveyard.
Yeah.
And I need to go to that. And I just, I always get tied up in, drinking a bunch. And
You can just watch Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and I think you'll see all
Oh,
the
really?
same old neons.
well, it's crazy because like in here, in this, like, I don't know if you noticed there's like a couple neon. None of it's lit up, but there's like 3 right there behind you. There's one there. That's a Spuds McKenzie one.
Ah, the dream.
And
Look
it's
at him.
it's so funny. My mom was like, my parents gave me all of this neon because they went through a phase where they were like on the eBay. They found eBay and they decided to buy all this shit, and then they decided they didn't want it. My mom's like, so Spuds McKenzie was a mascot for Bud Light during your childhood, and I was like, Mom, I'm very aware of who Spuds
Yes.
McKenzie was.
Get the
And
most entertaining commercials in the world.
And then she goes, well, you didn't drink, so I didn't know if you knew. I'm like, everyone was pretty aware. And then there's one more that I got to put up, and that one's like super rare, that baseball
The
one.
baseball one. Yeah.
But they're all like Bud Light, so those will all go up. And so I had some friends, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna come in and help you decorate." I'm like, "No, this is the decoration. It's
This
like
is it.
it's like bar, like the house has its own look. This is the stupid college ridiculous studio of
It'll make more sense when there's an actual.
Are you
bar
trying
there.
not to say man cave?
man cave.
Okay.
Do you watch what's that show? Solar Opposites. So they find out about like it's Justin Roiland who does Rick and Morty, and they're like these aliens that have crashed, and so they're trying to like no one ever notices that they live there, and that the spaceship has crashed into the top of their house. Anyway, they find out the neighbor has a man cave, but they didn't catch it, so they keep calling it a mank cave, and he has like a God, what do we just call those? Fluorescent light, and it says Diggle or Big O
Tiggle.
How does it say? Diggo Biddies.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, I wanted one of those. And so then they make their mank cave, and he's all, what's a Diggo Bix? And he's like, I don't know, but they were out of the other one. And like the whole episode, they never know what it is. And then like a robot crashes through and destroys the house, and then he sees it, and he's like, oh, and he's like, what? And he's like, I don't know. And it's like funny. It's like. I guess it is. I just wanted to like, because it's gonna have a bar. I just wanted it to be like a studio, like the fun, like hang. You know, it's the place where you can drink and not worry about spilling shit or
I think you nailed it. I think.
Right. I know. Right. I know. You can spill whatever you want in this fucking place.
I'm telling you, you're still missing one thing.
What am I missing?
What?
A mirror.
What do you mean a mirror?
Why? There's no mirror in here?
I'll put one on the back of the door.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
So you can see what you look like before you go on the air.
Exactly.
It's
still a studio.
So I want to go back to where Dan is talking about the parking variance.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived on Silver for a year and a half in an apartment. And I was so excited. I was like, yeah, man, I could ride my skateboard down to the Silver Market. But they were building this like Bernalillo County offices, right? Forever. Like it took them forever. So they eventually like blocked the street off completely. So I'd have to go around. So then they finished it, right? And this is such a government thing, such a city thing. I'm in Silver Market, and this guy's in there talking to the dude working behind the register, and he leaves. And he's like, yeah, that's the guy that's in charge of the parking for that new building, and they're looking for parking for the employees. I'm like, what? They waited till after the building was done? Like that wasn't fucking part of the plans prior to building? He's like, wow. They're trying to find out where all the parking garages are and who owns them so they can try to figure out where they're and I'm like, what? That's the fucking most government Albuquerque fucking dumb shit I've ever heard.
It's extremely Albuquerque to not even consider. Oh,
we should probably find parking for now. This beautiful building is done, and it's like, and like he was telling me that they were like trying to find parking at the parking garage by the theater. And I'm like, you imagine going to work every day and you have to park there and then walk like, I don't know, how many blocks is that? 4 blocks to work,
Yeah.
It's like, and then everybody's like, well, that's big city. I'm like, I get it, but downtown's not like that,
That's
and there is a parking garage directly across the street.
Yeah. I would have, like, before you built the building, moved out of the old one, maybe figure out where people are going to fucking drive and stop and then get out and go in, and leave the car.
It's wild.
I've talked about this on the show before. Like, people are like, oh, why is Albuquerque always like losing on bids from big companies? It's like, well, they come in and just ask basic questions like, how are the employees going to get there? And they're like, I don't know. They'll all drive. You're expecting all of our employees to own cars and drive there?
No, carpool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there a bike path that goes there? I don't know. People bike?
I just assume
Never mind. We're going to go to a different city.
I just assume they come in and they're like, so we're going to we're thinking about building a company here. What kind of amenities do you have? Air, sunshine, concrete. We have concrete in some places. We have some freeway.
Poisonous reptiles.
Yeah, yeah. Stabby people, shooty people. You
want to stay away from pretty much any sort of undomesticated animal because it might have rabies, plague, or hanta. I mean, just stay away from it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All true. I like you're like, okay, fair enough.
Oh my God, it's a squirrel. Stay away from it.
No, I would love to be in
that
bidding process. What kind of amenities do you have here? Air, maybe that sky.
300 days of sunshine, though. Like
300,
I think about that a lot. Where I'm just like, you can't really beat that. You really can't. I mean, it hasn't felt like 300 days lately, but it's nice.
Here we go. Dan Mayfield's. when you go before the EPC, you have to show that you have spaces.
Mhm.
But you can get a variance if you can prove that there is bus service and there will be pedestrians. Ironically, at Elvado, we made the case that a lot of people would take the art bus, and they approved us.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think, I mean,
Yeah. Here's what I love about the art bus. My parents came to town like a month ago, and we're driving downtown, and my dad was like, "Oh, that's the art bus." He's like scared of it. He's scared of it.
it's free now, though. Like, that's one of the
I've
most
heard.
aggressive things. Like, there are big cities
They-
that don't have
they-
a free
they were-
bus service. Like, that's
There was some point where you were paying for it.
no, I
there's-
know, but that's the whole thing. I mean, but the idea that it's officially free now is very
Yeah.
cool. Like, that's very, very cool.
That is. And I've been critical of Keller on a lot of things, but that's actually pretty. You're right. That's great. And it's like, I know there was a lot of pushback to that. Like, people were like, "What the fuck?" Like, and like the same with the Rail Runner.
Yeah.
Like, on how much money it loses every year.
Yeah.
People are like, "Well, it loses this amount of money," and I'm like, "Yeah, but first of all, this public transportation, it's not supposed to fucking make money."
Nothing's supposed to generate income
Yeah.
from these things. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to provide a service.
Right.
And so I mean, I think the Rail Runner should be free too. Like, it'd be
Agreed.
so nice to be able to go up.
I have some things I would love to do with the Rail Runner.
Go on.
Like a special, maybe just once a month to start out.
Mhm.
Saturday night, adult only,
Yeah.
drinking train.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a crazy idea?
No.
They
I
could
think that
definitely
sounds
have
great.
drinking cars on there.
Yeah. And you
Mhm.
drive to Santa Fe, you get out, and then there's like a brewery tasting,
Mhm.
and then you eat and you fucking drink, and then you get back on the train and you fucking head back.
Yeah.
It's
It'd
a
be
big
so
enough train.
nice.
You could be
It
able to get
is.
on this side for
Mhm.
for the drinking cart and get on this. You have different
Yeah.
tickets. Some check your tickets and make sure you
Yeah.
get on there.
Mhm.
Right. And the other thing too is like, I've been on it, and it's like, where's the person just selling food walking
going
down
up
the
and down.
center?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, where's that at? And people are like, well, that's expensive. I was like, no, that's how you make money. You people take it like every day to work.
Mhm.
Man, you sell coffee.
Yeah.
Just shit like in those big like thermos pump things. You sell coffee on a cart with cinnamon rolls and pastries and breakfast burritos that are
Burritos.
pre-made.
Yeah.
Boom, cash money right there. Why would you not do that?
People
Like-
who stay in Albuquerque but want to go to Meow Wolf would buy a breakfast burrito
Fuck
at
yeah.
like a premium. Like, it
Right.
would be wild.
Like a restaurant burrito. You're
Yeah.
Like, I'll spend like $7-8 on this.
Mhm.
And it's like this little dinky. You're like,
Yeah.
good
Even
enough.
like the satellite ones that have like black
Fuck.
beans in it,
Yeah,
or like whatever.
right,
People
right.
would be like,
how-
okay.
like black beans. What the fuck is this?
Where are these
So-
people from?
yeah.
Anastasia's or Pentos.
Yeah, right. Like, that's so weird. Like, anywhere you go outside of New Mexico, like, it's like Mexican food with black beans, and you're like, what?
No, sir. Yeah.
What is it? Like, what was it like in New York?
About the same. There was actually a New Mexican food restaurant that
I've heard about this,
and
yeah.
I went to it constantly, and I would bring friends with me to it,
Oh wow.
so they could have like green chili and red chili.
Was it legit?
I mean, it was owned by a guy who had lived
Mhm.
here, but he wasn't from it. He was like Australian, so
What?
that was weird. But
Lots of
also,
people fall in love with our cuisine. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
insanely like hard. They fall hard.
but there's also like a green chili company out there named Zia that like really like
Really?
will bring food, bring green chili back from Hatch every year, and then like do like roasting the same way like that everybody
Nice.
does it out here at like different food fairs and stuff. And he was my favorite. Like, I would always be like, okay, will you bring me back like 10 pounds? I need it for like the harsh winter. And then so that was that. But the La Flaca was like my favorite. I mean, we'd go there and I'd bring my friends, and then I kept telling them like, hey, let me go get you a Ristra. Like, let me go buy you like a real Ristra that you guys could hang
Oh,
out.
that's right. Yeah.
And they're like, we have one. And I was like, you literally don't. Like, you would look around the entire restaurant and be like, is it maybe in your kitchen, or where are you
Right.
putting this thing that
What do
you
you
told me you
think
have?
I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's called La Flaca.
yeah. And I think they closed because of COVID. Yeah, Kelly's right. I mean, it was so awesome. They had the
Yeah.
best brunch, because New Mexican food brunch is always the best. And
Well, speaking of closed during COVID, I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true or not, and I'm really worried about it. I heard that there's a chance Joe's may not reopen.
no,
And
that gave me chills. That like literally gave me chills.
Right. And so we were talking about it last night, and this is where like I almost laughed. Someone's like, "Yeah, I heard they're having a real." I'm laughing at it right now. They're having a real problem getting the place up to code, and I was like, Right?
I'm
And I was like, I'm sorry. The place wasn't up to code when it was open. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, you sat in any chair and it was like blown out. You sat in the booth, blown out. And then someone's like, yeah, I worked there. And like the wall was like coming apart like in certain places.
Here's the problem that I'm seeing from this perspective is like Joe's can and will struggle to be up to code. The social club also had problems that had nothing to do with COVID.
Right.
But they were lucky because of COVID that there was a lot of community support to help them get over the line.
That was amazing, by the way. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and now they're back open. And but I think like Joe's could actually have like kind of a renaissance like that.
Dude, if they said that we can't open because we're struggling, I feel like, well, people are gonna pay in a lot of change, but like people
But also, I mean,
a lot of their fans don't have a lot of money. to
Right,
throw
but
around,
still.
I would still throw down what I had.
when Ken
I was gonna say when Ken passed away.
when Ken passed away, I went to the memorial outside and people blocked the street off.
Yeah.
Like the city didn't block the street off. People blocked the street off.
Yep. So
And cars would try to get through and like, nope. Turn your shit around.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we're here and we're
And
doing this.
What's the guy's name? The city councilman, Pat
Davis.
Pat Davis was there. So I mean, it's not like it's not a place where like I feel like if that's the case, they need to say and like, you know, and I've also heard that maybe it may not be open because like Ken's not there, because like he was the guy.
He was the glue guy.
Yeah. And I hope that's not the case, but like I also understand that.
I thought what you were going to say is they might have trouble reopening because they're having a hard person to put in control of the liquor license because Kim was kind of the last straw.
Oh,
He was like
really?
the last person that was like on the list of owners that was even legally allowed to be in charge of a liquor license.
Really?
Sure.
Really? Because I know there's 3 owners, or there was with Ken, but like
And both the other ones were not allowed to have a liquor license anymore because they individually had too many violations.
Interesting.
It's just like, hey, you have $20. You're the new third owner, and now we're putting the liquor license in your name.
I would gladly be the new third owner if they needed me to, because that place is really special. I had said, like, I spoke at like Ken's thing for a moment just because I had been such a regular there, and I told them like, it's so wonderful that like Ken almost like exclusively brought like people into adulthood in a way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like these kids that turned 21 went there and then they learned the exact rules that you were talking about earlier.
The unwritten rules. Unwritten rules, and then Joe's rules.
Joe's rules are a special rule. But like he at least would like teach everybody like what's it like to be in a bar even. And
my favorite. I used to read.
What's it like when the bartender doesn't like your music and cuts off the jukebox?
You will absolutely.
My favorite, so we used to read, or we still do. Like every once in a while, we'll be like, let's read a Joe's 1-star review.
Oof.
And my favorite was like the bartender said they don't allow dancing in the bar, and I'm like, that's good. And that was good. And and then one of the other ones is like, apparently they'll tell everyone it's last call and then serve their friends for another 45 minutes.
Yes.
As they kick you out. And I'm like,
that's correct.
That is correct. It's called local privilege.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was at the pinball machine. I wasn't paying attention. Can I get another round? Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Oh, yeah.
PBR, right? Jameson? That's like
Tawaka. That was the thing when I was
Tawaka.
they were like, Tawaka, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, fine.
Yeah. The best is like when someone would come in and they're like, you guys make a sex on the beach?
Out.
Get the fuck
Get out.
The
Yeah.
fuck out. And you know, you need places like that, you know?
You gotta have them.
And it was like, in like every one of those reviews, I could sit there and read it and I could picture the person. I'm like, yep. Like, fuck you.
It says more about them
than the
Joe's.
place. Yeah.
And those chili cheese fries are still my favorite chili cheese fries.
And like, people are like, what was the food like? I was like, good, bad pizza? I don't know.
Turtle pizza. That's what we called it in our friend. Because when it was the only pizza in town that we ever went to that you could pull a slice out and it would do like the cheese stretch, like a Ninja Turtles episode.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, a braided crust. You don't get that anywhere around here.
No. Yeah.
So
That's good.
Joe's till I die. I love Joe's. It's the best.
I know. So like if there's some need, Sarah says she'll put her name on the liquor license.
Yeah, happy to do it.
She'll do her fingerprints. She'll do all
Please.
that shit. She's good.
Mm-hmm. I'm good for it.
We need places like that in town. That's the only place that would book an imaginary band that I was in.
Oh God. But that's what I'm saying. Like the idea of I think even Barney for a long time had this inside joke where every time he was at Joe's, he would say, "Oh my God, Bill Murray just showed up."
Yeah, he would.
These posts up, and people will be like, "What at Joe's? What?" And then
Plus, it was a circular bar. You could be there the entire night and miss that there was another person there.
Yeah.
I was there last night too. Where were you at?
I remember the first time I ever went, and I was like, "Wow, this is a little place." And then I was like, "Oh wait,
Oh, no.
no." And then like, oh fuck. And then I was like, "Oh fuck, there's more." There's like a pool table. There's like a ping pong. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Kelly says someone recently told me that Bar Uno was chosen as the best Albuquerque dive bar by some random site.
interesting. Do you think Bar Uno is a dive bar?
And I was like, "That's not a dive bar.
Yeah,
it's not.
same.
No,
No.
fuck
Joe's
no. Fuck
teaches
no.
you what a dive bar is.
Right. That's okay. I'm gonna tell you the dive bars that I know of that are still left in town.
Okay, great.
Because we still had
You have that fun secret one.
because we had Birds. I do have one.
Mhm.
So I mean, we had Joe's.
Joe's.
We had Dragonhorn.
That's the one.
There's another one, Howie's.
Oh, Howie's. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
where some of my first comedy
You
shows.
had forgotten about it. Right?
No, wait. Some of my first comedy shows were in the back room of Howie's because it was the best place that they would let us do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's a great bar.
It's like a Packer bar,
Oh, it.
like a Green Bay Packer bar. And Leo's. That's a good
Oh,
one.
Leo.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Leo's is a
Yeah.
Leo's is in like a category of its own because it is they pat you down when you go in there, and I don't think a dive bar would normally. A dive bar would just kind of be like,
Yeah.
"Welcome." Leo's
So-
is like, "One moment,
Well,
TSA you."
I remember the first time I ever drove by Leo's.
Mhm.
I was going to that grocery store,
Oh yeah,
and the Girls Gone Wild bus was there outside of Leo's, and I was like, "What in the fuck is happening
that's
here?"
because Leo will drive you home.
Yeah, she's
And-
like, I'm thinking of scary bars with comedy.
Right. Sorry.
Did,
yeah,
did you guys do comedy there?
Oh yes. I mean, one of the first times they ever brought Kelly to town, I did a show at Leo's, and she was like, "Okay, that
This
dog
is,
outside is gonna really get me." And I was
That's like when you go in, like that. Leo's is like a place that would be like, we open at 8 a.m. and you're like, "Oh, we're gonna go at 8 a.m." and then you do, and you're just like,
I regret
shouldn't have done that. Like
Yeah.
the guy named Snake is in there, and
Mhm.
he's like coughing up blood, but he's like drinking a beer, and you're like, and I say all of those things because that's
In love.
that's a real story that happened to
Oh
me.
wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
In Portales, New Mexico, where I went to college, there was a place called the Blue Gym. And the Blue Gym opened at 8 a.m. And there was one night we were like, "Yeah, we're all going to stay up all night. We're going to go to the Blue Gym." And we did. And there was a guy named Snake sitting at the bar at 8 a.m. already there. And I mean, he did hawk up some blood. Like he was
like a clot.
he was a guy that had like a handkerchief all the time. And like, you're like, "Oh God, that guy."
It's
saw, like,
foreshadowing for the end of his movie.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. You're like, this guy saved a woman last night, probably. You don't know. I was like, I love this, but also maybe this is my last night on Earth. Oh well, yeah.
yeah. But then also that's like Sidelines on the west side. That's like right next to the old the movie theater. That's like in the same stretch as like the Target off of Paseo.
Oh, that. I'm trying to think which one you're talking about. I thought the Sidelines I know is like off of Academy and
Oh no, that's
Sneakers.
so off of
Oh,
Academy
shit.
there was Sneakers, and then it became that sandbar because it was on Bar Rescue.
Oh
and
no,
all that
that's
stuff.
on San Mateo
Mhm.
in Montgomery.
Yes, so the one on Academy,
And
or
now
like,
it's all done.
but
That was that was Sidelines.
there's the one side sports or there's another one that's like way up there, and they do like really good ribs. That's in like a Eubank and
Yeah.
right in the parking lot of like a Smith's and like another liquor store and a Walgreens. That
Yeah,
used to be
that's
a
the one.
club.
It's like in the corner.
Yeah, but that one was called something else.
I
Like
thought it
there's
there was Sneakers and there was Sidelines.
Mhm. So Sidelines, if I'm remembering correctly, is the one that's off of Paseo and Coors, and then
Spectators.
Spectators. Thank you,
Kelly
God,
did it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you. Spectators is the one that's like way up in the
Ah.
Heights. I love both. Like
Yeah.
Spectators is actually the best
I
one. 'Cause They
don't-
have like,
Do you think those are divey though?
well, they're sports bars. It's like a
There's
different
sports bars.
category.
There's sports
Yeah.
bars
Mhm.
because like that one's not divey because like number one they have like a full staff and a kitchen.
Yeah.
Like divey to me is you walk in and like Howie's, you're like, I don't know. They're like, yeah, we have some food. We have a fryer right over there.
Yeah.
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 And you're like, okay. In the Dragonhorn, I got in trouble because I went to the Dragon Horn and I'd lived here for years and never heard of it. And when someone's like, yeah, we're going to go to the Dragon Horn, I was like, that's not a thing. And they're like, yeah, it is. And you have to know where it is. Even if you Google it.
I only learned about it because of you talking about it on a podcast.
Are you serious?
I haven't been there yet. But but I looked at every picture on the internet and was like, oh,
yeah,
this place exists.
Yeah. What? And so like so I checked in there and people got mad. They're like, you're going to fuck up my grandfather's place.
No.
And I was like, oh, because like you have to go and it's behind an Albertsons. And you have to drive around the north side and then back behind the Albertsons. Have you ever been there?
Oh, I know where that place is.
And then you get to the south side, and then there's just a sign that just says like bar. And you're like, okay. And you walk in, and it is the literal like record player stops. Everyone looks like, who the fuck are you? And
we know everyone here.
It has like the there's a banner behind me on the wall. Imagine if that said like, Tuesday night, Bud Light's $3. Like just big band, those big ass fucking banners. And we walk in. So our friend Sabrina, she's like crust punk.
Yeah.
And all of her friends are crust punk. And like, that's just how like downtown is. You kind of have that like gamut of friends.
I wouldn't call them crust punk, but
she's a crust dude.
They're friends with crust punks.
Okay.
They're part of the crowd.
She's
crust punk adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I'll go over to her house and there's a party and there's some crust punks there and you're like, oh hey, how are you? They haven't showered in a little
crusty.
Bit, a little crusty. Yeah.
I have a friend who is currently sitting in Roosevelt Park with like 6 cases of beer because he can't find a place to just sit at and drink it.
Very crust punky.
Yeah,
very crust punky. So like we would do this thing called the Heights Bar Crawl where we would like go to different bars to shock the squares, like Homer Simpson would say. And you would do like the geckos off Academy.
I keep telling Kelly I want to take her to that because their karaoke was my favorite karaoke.
Really? And we go to like Vintage, and then we went to the Dragon Horn. And we walk in the Dragon Horn, and this like everyone's looking at us because we do not fit. Like we're not like middle aged. Well, I am, but like most people are not middle aged. But like this woman literally says, "Wow, what a motley crew." And then she's like, I want to hang out with you guys. And she just like never left us. She was like on us. Like, and it was like this like middle-aged lady who was just like, I want to know the cut of your jib, just like, and I was like, all right. And and like there's a band over in the corner. It's tiny. A band over in the corner, and they're all do looking out my back door. And I'm like, all right, this is, and I can roll with that because I'm from Eastern New Mexico, which is the Midwest of New Mexico, and I did, but then I checked in and someone's like, people were like mad. They were like, no, you're going to ruin it. You're going to turn it into this hipster bar. And I was like, what? And I was like, fair enough. I mean, I get it. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up, but maybe you're right.
So the nice thing about being a comedian in general, and this is no matter where I'm at in the entire like great 50 states of our United States, is that comedy only exists in terrible places. Like I always believe that like at the last like moment of a bar's existence, the only two things that really are there are like roaches and comedy.
Wow.
like sometimes it's the only thing that sometimes bar owners will reach out to be like, please help me.
Please help us with this.
And in New Mexico and in Albuquerque in particular, that's very, very true. So there's been so many times where I've been able to be like in places that I'm like, I don't know if I need to be here right now. And then they'll close. And so like there's this place called Misty's Hideaway that was like a biker bar.
I remember that place.
Yeah, and like we did shows there a lot.
Yeah.
And it closed. And then there was like a kind of an Irishy kind of bar over by the Target off of Eubank. That was also a biker bar. Like I guess maybe it's like
Malarkey's.
Malarkey's. That's the exact one.
I mean, I don't know what that place is.
But like, so like I have gotten the chance to be like in like a lot of really cool other bars in the Heights or like places in New Mexico that are at Albuquerque that I would have never ever gone to.
And
but
you just see such a okay, like we're such downtown people. Like you were like, I remember like on Facebook there was always like a rush like probably about 5 years ago, to like add as many people as you could if you were like a business or whatever, to try like whatever. And there was a place up there off of near Dirty Bourbon.
Oh,
Hooligans or
yeah.
And all of a sudden, and like the other one is like the effing bar.
Oh yeah.
And
that's on the west side.
Yeah, that's on the west side. But you see like all these bands promoted, and you're like, who the fuck are these bands? And it's all metal.
Yeah.
It's always like metal. And it's like we played every Thursday at the effing bar. And like there's a dude named like Chris Raven that like is like you know, and then I'm hanging out with my friend, and like I go to a barbecue and I meet their mom, and she's like, "Oh, you're in the do you know Chris Raven?" And I was like, I fucking have only heard of him on the radio because of like the effing bar or Slate Street Billiards or
and that's not even the Slate Street like where you can get brunch. Like it's the Slate Street in Rio Rancho.
Yeah. Have you been to that place?
The billiards one?
The Slate Street?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I thought of the place. Like someone's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
And I was like, it and they're like, "What's it like?" I was like, "Well, it has everything a bar, like a sports bar, or no, everything a bar thinks it should have."
Yeah.
So you walk in, there's pool tables, there's foosball, there's air hockey, there's darts, there's
Kinda
karaoke.
like Spectators. Spectators also does the same thing.
There's karaoke, there's trivia, there's it's like check. There's fighting. There's there's angry women that are mad at the other women. There's dancing. There's a DJ. Like it's like what the fuck? Like all in one night. Like not like they don't space it out. It's all there one night.
I hadn't actually thought about this. There's still a dive bar here. Like
which one?
I always forget the Bird of Paradise.
Go on.
Because
I forgot about that. I have not drank there ever.
It's because I used to work there. I worked on a liquor store side.
Go on.
And I always forget. I was like, oh yeah, that's also like the diviest dive bar you could go into.
And you can hold on. And
what are we talking about?
Oh,
where is it? Where
okay,
is it?
okay.
Oh,
wow. You never been?
No.
Have you never been there?
I don't think
It's
so.
right between. Okay, it's right in between the war zone,
Okay.
the Air Force Base,
Yeah.
and the Ridgecrest area.
It's on Gibson.
Oh,
So do you know where that
get-
Asian market is on Gibson?
Yes, absolutely.
It's next to it.
Oh wow, great. Okay.
And I knew about the liquor store because James worked there for how many years you worked there?
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. He was on the show when he was there. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, we have a bar." I was like, "There's a bar there?"
Oh yeah.
And then they serve like Asian food?
No, it's New Mexican food.
oh wow,
I
great.
thought for some reason I thought it was like noodles or some shit.
Dan knows what's up.
Yeah, he's like Dan's like the bird bar.
Oh yeah, I forget about it because I worked there. And since it's like the same thing. Since you're adjacent to the liquor store,
Yeah.
you can order anything at that bar.
That's the cool thing about Founders. Yeah.
Freaking anything.
I love it. So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
It's like what is the craziest thing you've ordered at Founders that they brought you?
Well, I have this drink that I loved from this one cocktail bar in Greenpoint that I was like, nobody can make it. Like not even my bartender friends can make it. And so like I just had this like screenshot from this like Brooklyn bar. Then I took to them and I was like, hey, do you guys have like a Dr. Pepper? And he was like, yeah, of course we have Dr. Pepper. And I was like, do you know how rare it is to get Dr. Pepper in New York? Please, could you guys make me this? And I showed it
They're
to
all
him.
tabbed. They're all, we have tab.
Yeah, we got tab. Yeah.
And it's not the same.
I've got Surge. I got like, so anyway, I showed him the thing and it had Dr. Pepper and Amaro and bourbon and orange bitters and whatever. And he made it for me like flat out. And I was like, this is the greatest. Thank you.
Was
like,
it Josh or was it Brandon?
I think it was Josh.
Tall white guy? Yeah, Josh. I love that. I love that bar. So Dan Mayfield said, do they uncork at the Bird? What does that mean?
Yeah, you can order anything. You can order a bottle of wine.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a full license. They have everything. They even have a canopy license there.
What's that mean?
They can give you an umbrella.
Oh, fancy.
Canopy or-
Fancy. Like it rains.
Oh
sometimes.
no! Like check this out. Like we a canopy license. We do like private parties. Like for the Pulse had like, a few parties after they were closed.
Mhm.
They used our canopy license.
So you can go like other places.
Yes.
R.I.P. the Pulse.
So
I know.
Is that not where? Okay, well, we'll get back to that. Hold on. So like, let's go back to Founders. First of all, it's a terrible place that no one should ever go to.
No, the barbed wire that you have to crawl through.
The amount of
alone.
barbed wire,
It
the amount of blood
smells like
puddles,
and the
barbed
needles.
wire. Yeah.
Oof.
I was gonna say the poop smell.
The poop smell, like that, they pipe it in. Anyway, what I love to do to that place is the classier the crowd, the classless I like to get. So if I go in and it's like a bunch of like dudes like dressed up with like button-up shirts tucked in, I'll order a twisted tea
and have it served to you in like the glass.
They serve it to me in a glass with ice. They'll have the little stick in there, and they'll have a strawberry at the top that looks like a flower. And people will be like, "Ooh, that looks good. What is that?" And I'll be all, "This is amazing." Like, or I'll drink. So they keep Topo seltzers down there just for me. And like as soon as I walk in, they'll start pouring them. And I've drank a 40 out of a bucket of ice down there.
A dream.
It's like so amazing because like if they have it upstairs in the liquor store, they can bring it down.
So I went with my uncle and my dad and Kelly one night, and we were there, and my dad knows how to like switch it up. So like he was like, old fashioned, no problem, I can order that.
Right.
And they do the cool smoky one or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Kelly and I were like, well, I'd like a whiskey sour but like with a fun thing, like whatever you want to take with that. And then my uncle was like, I don't know, man, what do you have that's closest to like Bud Light? And then he was like, we can get you a Bud Light. And he was like,
done.
no, actually, I think maybe I should get something fancier than that. I just like he wasn't expecting them to like match him like drink for drink. And so then he was like, oh, I'll get like a Dos Equis. And it came out, and then that really pretty like glass that they serve like whatever beer they have in, and it was like, and he was like, oh, I didn't, what's this? And he had like the best time of his life, just like hanging out and being like, this is so nice, and everybody's like so nice here.
Yeah. Nate Santa Maria says hello.
Oh, hey, Mr. Nate.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not even on camera. I'm waving at you very vigorously, Nate.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I'll let you wave at him. But I love that you're wearing the old this is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's our 15-year anniversary. James has on the shirt that I actually designed, and it's when we had Michael still on the show and Billy still on the show, and then Chase still a part of the show, and it's the Baby Driver poster.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's like one of my favorite shirts. But then half those people are still not around. But
it's like you custom found like. Yeah. I have a beard and a gun. Like, how are you ever going to find that? That never happens.
It's so funny because I took that picture of you with the gun and the beard, and I use it all the time because it's so great. Because like it makes it look like you shoot a gun like all the time, and like I was there and you were like shitting bricks to shoot that gun, and it's pretty funny. But like here's a teaser for people who stayed around for the later part of the show. 2 of the people that are on that shirt will be on the show next Saturday.
That's right.
That's so cool.
This is back when we had a full crew, so it was like that's when we were doing like tons of live shows. So
it totally was.
We needed to have at least 3 people show up to make it work.
Yeah. So Kelly's talking about this place that we used to like to go to. That I think actually there's a little bit of stuff that we can glean from how they did it.
Yeah.
So they had this like dive bar on the Lower East Side, and you could text the bar your order. Like,
wow!
And they would just bring it to you, and they had 40s on ice.
Oh, that's so amazing.
And that was great. And then they also had when you
shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. But so like your 40s were served like with a bunch of like
shrimp cocktails around the thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna talk shit to the guys at Founders.
You could also do microwave popcorn. And they'd bring it to your to the full bag, and they just open it for you at the table.
That's fucking divey. That's like okay. Let's talk about the black or the old Burt's.
Yeah. Oh,
what I loved about the old Burt's was, first of all, like everything about it was like, we don't want to make any money.
No.
Like the bartenders were always slow. Like always.
Well, the thing is, they already made enough money. They didn't have to work to make it
more.
They
fucking gave no shits, right? Then they have these old CRT TVs.
Oh, yeah.
And they always had a fucking awful, amazing movie. Like, I remember, like, going in and I'd be like, getting a beer, and I'd be like, oh my God, is that Creepshow 2? Holy shit, yeah, that's amazing. That's fucking dope as fuck. And I'd sit there and like, and then like in like, you're like, oh, that's whatever. But like, they never, ever had the closed captioning on.
Never.
So you're literally like in your mind doing the dialogue, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, it's like Santa Claus 2 or something, like whatever sorry, Silent Night, but Deadly Night 2. It was always a horror film. It was never like anything great. It was like but it would be something from your Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, like that would be like totally. Mm-hmm. Nate said Old Bert's was the funnest place to play shows.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it was so great. Seeing the red light cameras there, like that was like a really great show. And then, you know, when you got there early enough on a Thursday night, you can get a booth and go dancing without having to like stake a claim somewhere.
Did you okay, I had a friend that was like adamant about every time he wanted to get one of the tiki drinks and
share it,
and you'd have to share it. And then remember they'd like light the middle on fire.
Yeah.
And I remember like one of the old co-hosts, Adam from the show, was adamant like about getting them. And I remember the last time we did, they'd bring you the 2 straws. And I remember like taking like about a shot's worth swig in my mouth. And I look over and he just power drinks the rest of it. And I'm like, oh no. First of all, in my mind, I'm like, thank God I didn't want any more than that because they were fucking potent.
Yeah, they were.
You know,
flammable.
Mm-hmm. But I think he threw up that night. And I'm like,
well, that was probably for the best.
Yeah. Do you remember like at Bert's, like when you'd go to, well, you may not because you didn't go to the men's restroom, but like you would walk back to the men's restroom and they had the back door.
Yes.
And it was covered in porn.
Yes.
And then like it was a woman on all 4s and her butthole was the peephole. And I was like,
why is there a peephole on a bathroom door also?
No, this was the back door.
The back door. Like, okay.
To look into the alley.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the worst thing to me was always like so the women's room was always the door always shut. The men's room, they always left it open. And you had a urinal and a toilet. And on the back wall was just porn. And I was like, who's the porn for? Like, who's going to be in this open bathroom just masturbating? Like,
I almost took up with a girl in that bathroom.
I believe
in the men's room.
Yeah,
the girls' room was at least.
It had I remember one time, like the door open. While I was waiting to get in the men's room. The door open. And I saw you guys had a bench, and I was like, they have a bench to sit on.
Well, yeah, because everybody's in there being like, okay, well, blah blah blah. I don't know how I feel about him. Like, like it was like a whole thing. Right. Everybody would go and kind of be like, I saw you guys. Don't do that. Blah blah. Like everybody.
The men's room was like stalls made out of corrugated metal. It was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it was like, okay. And but then I was always like, who's looking at this porn? And like, you know what? I'm gonna go sit on that toilet in the because like because it was a urinal and a toilet, and the toilet had like a divider, but there wasn't a door to like fully lock in if you had to do a number 2.
Oh, there was a door there when I was anyway.
Well,
I've been going to Bert's like for so many of its iterations, like because it keeps getting closed and reopened and closed and reopened and closed.
We'll see. It's going to be a brewery now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called Echoes.
Are they new? They're new.
I don't know what's going on, but they've. I don't want to say. I don't know.
Oh,
I'll say, because they said they've already come out of the gate, just kind of like being a-holes a little bit.
Are they trying to get attention? Is that
they follow me on Instagram, but like right away, the first thing they said was, we're going to open an actual music venue downtown. And it's like,
excuse me.
Like, it's like shit talking. And like, I've talked to the people, I've talked to the powers that be that are downtown, and they're like not happy about them. And like, how can you brew in there, make beer, have bathrooms, and a place to drink?
And a real music venue.
And have a venue. Like, how many people can you fit in there?
Are they adding a second story to the building?
I don't know.
The only way I can see this working.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you super excited about the Lobo? Like, I'm really excited.
Right?
You saw me post about that. I was like excited because I'd heard about the Lobo way back in the day, and then when I moved here, it was a church already. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I am super excited about that.
I think it's going to be great, and I think it's going to do a lot to help Nob Hill get back on its feet. Like, I think that it's going to be so cool.
Well, let's see what happens.
Well, if the landlord himself is the guy who's doing it, I think that's a better chance than like him like kind of outsourcing it or whatever.
I'll tell you why I say let's see what happens. Because it has nothing. So Nob Hill's decline is because of Nob Hill.
Do you think so?
Yeah, no, I know so. I've been talking to people who like have moved out, and they were talking about this like Nob Hill Association.
Sure.
Oh,
and they wanted the nightlife out.
Well, I know because they had a problem with all the food trucks. They had a problem with like all the parking. There was a big part.
They wanted like they forced out the last call guy. They forced out the what's the one that's opening in One Albuquerque? Canvas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that place. That place was awesome.
It's opening up in One Albuquerque.
When I lived up there, it was the same thing. They hated it.
They don't like the nightlife.
That's wild to me.
That's wild.
Specifically hated my brother and I because we lived in the neighborhood and we owned a bar in the neighborhood. So it was a double whammy. They're all and we're like, well, I think we should have a say because we live here. And they were like really mad about that because we had a say because we lived there and we're on the neighborhood association.
So from what I understand, from what I've heard, is that like they wanted the nightlife out and the city wants the nightlife all to move downtown.
Well, sure. I know that they're really trying to do like the whole revitalization of downtown and like do the theme.
Downtown's not big enough.
That happens like every 5 years.
Yeah.
But
so
it's like,
what would they like Nob Hill to look like? Because like even like Stranger Gallery moving out and like that kind of stuff.
Family restaurants, family.
Just a giant strip mall.
Yeah. Shopping.
But like the same thing that happens down here where it's like chain stuff and like big brand stuff doesn't last.
Right.
Like even Urban Outfitters and stuff was like, we're out.
We're going to the mall.
Yeah.
Which has to be, well, how can the mall be cheaper? You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm with you. But like that's like I've talked to businesses and I was like, I had heard this. Is this true? And they're like, absolutely, it's true.
I am desperate to talk to that Happy Accidents girl that's from Bar Rescue.
Oh,
Kate. I literally like well, number one is a huge Bar Rescue fan, like literally, and then also knowing that she opened this bar during COVID, and also knowing like where she picked to do it, and also knowing that she's from here, but also having like this like background. I was like, please talk to me about the process that you went through to open this bar.
And
well, she got in trouble, I think, because she'd gone on the news and had like mentioned some stuff, and then like the actual like liquor license people were like, no. Yeah. And so then she was like, I can't.
They got some I don't know if I want to talk about all this, but like
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I know I shouldn't have even said what I said.
No, it's fine.
She's
it's fine.
Just like
so
she's great. But I also know like
Ski Rio Rancho. But like I've heard some things not good. And like there's a whole Yelp review about racism.
At Happy Accidents?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
They made a guy. So
Google review,
a family came in. A black family came in, and they asked them to like. I get it at a bar, but like at a place where you're eating, they came up and said we need you to open a tab, and the guy was like the man in his family patriarch was like, well, why? And they were like, we just do. That's how we do things. And then he asked the other tables around, and none of them had opened a tab. And
interesting.
So then finally they got into a big argument. Like I have the article. I have the actual Yelp review screenshotted. And at the end, they got in a big argument. His family left, and then the guy who wrote the actual Yelp review said, the waiter came over and goes, I just want you to know that wasn't about race.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
and,
crazy.
There's more. I'll tell you.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's also one of those things too. It's like they have like this board in their bar where they put like their most like scathing Yelp review.
But why do you have so many?
But I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was a nice way to put people on blast. But then like nobody's gonna put one about that. Like
they didn't. They did not.
Woof. Interesting.
And I don't know. I'm gonna tell you the rest off the air. But I've never been. I don't know her. I don't know. But I've heard stories already. So. And
I was super excited about it. I just thought it was kind of.
Have you gone?
No, but like Matanza was like such a huge space on that corner, and I was like to have somebody who was like so excited to be in Nob Hill and do Nob Hill stuff.
Yeah,
I thought, well, that's nice, and like, why wouldn't we want to go support that and like help Nob Hill not have just be like a Geckos and Tractor and Il Vicino.
So here's what I didn't like right away. She came in.
You forgot Monte Vista.
Yeah. How can
you
oops. She's like, I didn't. So here's probably what she shouldn't have done right away. She came in and was like, these are the businesses I'm going to put out of business. And she did that.
Ooh.
And I heard that from them. They're like, did you hear about? But see, she didn't.
Which one did she pick?
Founders.
Oh no! Well, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's fair.
But that's before she decided to open that place because she was actually involved with 505 Central.
Yeah, she was like Moonwalk.
Yeah.
I think is her kind of
Yes.
project too.
That's where she was like, I'm coming in and I'm going to close these people down. And I'm like, why do you have to be like that at all?
Right.
Just be like, hey, we can all
We have a
prosper.
new place, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where she got on my radar. And then I've not sought out anything, and I have several stories. Never been in the place. Several stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
If Kelly's still watching, please take note of that.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Anyway, I don't want to end on that, but like, yeah, we probably should end this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's
Well,
a fun, cool thing we can end
wasn't
on?
gonna say- Oh, hey.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has offered us cat grooming services.
What?
Grooming?
Yeah.
Okay, what is cat grooming services, by the way? Because I have
Sometimes
a cat.
it's just like
Clipping the claws.
claws.
I keep
Um,
thinking
Make it look
like
like a lion.
shaving the cat.
Yeah.
It's as far as I know, it's the newest cat grooming, maybe even the only one in the city with a registered. Look, she's got like all these letters on the end of her name.
Are you being an influencer right now? Do we need to
Yeah,
say that this
James,
is
what's going on?
sponsored
Have you
content?
been
Is this-
paid for this?
There may have been offers of free cat grooming.
Oh, all right. Well, there you
That's
go.
fine.
But you just said that.
We have
Yeah,
cats,
That's
right?
transparency.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
I know what I want to talk about real quick before we end. The United game.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one.
So the United did this amazing thing where they sold tickets for Friday's game and tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
They sold 1,912 tickets at $5.05 a piece.
Nice.
And everybody's like, "Oh, they're all grass." They weren't.
No.
But by the time I got in and tried to fucking like order, it was crashing, and because we're out, New Mexico, and we're like, cheap.
Mhm.
And I bought tickets.
It is how you make our hearts go. Ba-doom,
Yeah.
ba-doom, ba-doom.
So I got the tickets for Friday, and I got tickets for tomorrow.
Mhm.
And Friday it rains, right?
Mhm.
And we're like at my friend and I who are going. We're waiting on our other friends. We're at like Sidetrack. We just keep looking out the window, and it's just raining. And like for people who don't live in, they're like, oh, of course it does. We live in New Mexico. It doesn't. If it starts raining,
It'll end real quick.
yeah, you're more apt to say like, let's just chill for a sec. But it didn't. It just kept going. So they postponed the game for an hour. And for real, $5.05.
Yeah, $5?
$5.05. Yes, for
Yes.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. 505.
that's what's so great
It's
about
a
the United.
perfect promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, because the tickets were so cheap, I was like, they're going to be in the grass. It's rained so much. We're not going to go sit in the grass.
No
right?
way.
And it was a good choice because we came home, and I have ESPN Plus, and you can watch our team on TV. So we come home and watch TV. And at one point in the game, I was like, wow, Devin Sandoval's sweating a lot. And they're like, no, he's wet from the ground. I was like,
Oh,
oh, good thing
no.
we didn't go sit in the fucking grass. But I have to say, this is one thing that happened. We're not used to like having a pro team. We're just not. And I'll tell you why. Because our team is not the best right now. Like we're used to the first 2 seasons. Our team was killing it, right? So we're on a 3-game losing streak coming into Friday, right? And I'm like, I was like, wow, I don't know what this feels like. Like I don't know what like living in a town with an actual home team where they're not doing good. I'm all like I start feeling it like in my soul, and then I'm like, wow, this is what it really feels like. And then the game happens, and our team played like dog shit.
Oh God.
Also, it was one of the worst soccer games I've ever seen. Like,
You were there?
The amount of
God.
yellow cards and like, I was
Dude,
like, what is
we're
going
sitting
on?
there watching, and it's like, why is that person a forward? Why is that person playing? And like, I'm just like, I don't know if I like this feeling, right? And it's 1-1 at like half, and like, if the fact we scored at all, I was like, wow. And then going into the second half, like, I don't know how much you know about it. I don't know much about soccer.
I almost went back downtown.
So,
So,
like,
that's
halfway
it.
through, I was
so
like,
like the other team gets a red card.
Yeah.
And that means that they lose that player,
Mhm,
and then they're down a player.
Yeah.
So we have one extra player for almost the whole second half, and they still
They still
shot on our goal a bunch of times,
No.
handled us, And like I'm watching, and I'm like, I can't believe how awful we are.
It's like being a Mets fan.
One of our players got
Yeah.
one of our players got taken off of the field in an
In an
ambulance.
ambulance?
Yeah.
So then it gets to like we our goalie has a couple of amazing stops that should have been goals, and we make it to the extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, we're in extra time. All right, guys, let's play for real." And our team turns into the super team. We score a goal immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and then another one in like less than a minute. And it's like just like
5
pow,
minutes left.
pow. And then like if someone goes and looks at the score, they're like, "Oh, United won 3-1. They dominated." No, they didn't.
No.
It looks so bad. And I was like fucking upset the entire time. And then everybody's like, "How'd the United game go?" I was like, "We won." I'm like, "That's good." I'm like,
No.
"It wasn't good. It was fucking terrible." And like,
It's so hard to watch.
and I was all of a sudden, I was like, "Wow!" Like
Grey's
I felt,
Anatomy episode.
I felt like a Mets fan. Yeah, I felt like a fucking or Boston Red Sox
Yeah,
fan back in the day. Like fucking shit, Like Bruce was a forward. Why was he a forward? Why was he a striker? All of a sudden I'm like this super fan. Like I'm like I was so upset, and we're like, and I was really glad I didn't actually go in person because I was like I'd be wet and just pissed the entire time, and then I'd leave and be like, well, we're wet and we won. Let's go drink.
Oh yeah.
Super ultra
mega.
mega extra time. Nice.
Right.
But there's a game tomorrow, and I have tickets, and we'll see if it rains out because
Nice.
it just keeps raining.
I know. It's wild that like some people have said like maybe now the monsoon season has just like scooched up.
Moved, yeah.
Yeah. And that scares me a little bit, but also
I'm just
Yeah.
happy it's there. I mean, we missed it the last couple of years.
I know. Yeah.
So, it
Right.
clouded up. Yeah, went away.
Mhm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's go ahead and see how to see you there. We'll see. We'll see. If you see me, just keep walking. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You see me,
You just
you're
keep
in
walking.
line for a funnel cake.
Yeah, nice. That's like me. I'm like, what is this? Oh, funnel cake fries. Nice. Ooh, fancy. Like I went to a food. Like this is how like I felt about downtown the other day. I was like, felt like it was getting back to its roots. Like I was with the guy that owns Safe House, and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's go over and do some samples, and it was completely closed. And there was a random food truck in their parking lot, and the name was spray painted on the side.
Yep.
And they had burritos, hamburgers, funnel cake fries, tacos, and it was like corn dogs. And I was like,
Their entire menu was
Do
just
they
a
have
whiteboard.
cheesecake? Because that might be my new favorite one.
dude, I wish.
The orange one downtown has like wings,
Yes,
Cheesecake.
yes.
and I'm like, whoa, hello, sir. Thank you for
my-
being downtown.
My favorite State Fair ridiculous food is fried cheesecake. So that tells you anything. But Sarah, what do you got coming up?
I mean, hang out with me every
Airbrush t-shirts.
all the time. Yeah. I do. I'm about to release this podcast that's called Comedy Ghost Town,
Yeah.
and it's literally like exploring like what it is that we would need to be able to open and sustain a comedy club here in Albuquerque, because there are so many places that have the same population as us,
Yeah.
have the same crime rate as us, have the same lots of other stuff as us, and they have places for like dedicated comedy spots,
Right.
and we don't, and I don't understand what it is. And so I've interviewed Mo Maestas, the House representative. I've interviewed like people who've opened up their spaces independently in like Milwaukee and like Fort Collins, and also like comedians around town.
Oh, wow.
And Sam Talent, who's an amazing comedian.
That dude's dope as shit.
I mean, he's the best.
He that book he wrote, I want that book so bad.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good, and he references Albuquerque and everything in it because like he's been a big
Yeah.
part of every phase of what New Mexico comedy has gone through
Yeah.
since Laughs is closed. He's been there. So all of it, I'm just like kind of trying to do it like a NPR style podcast where I'm narrating things over
I want
it.
to be on this show.
Yeah, and actually, it's very important to me that you guys are on this
I would
show.
love to have this because I've had like literally since knowing Holly and all them,
Yes.
I've thought in my mind, I'm like, man,
Where
could
would
I-
it be?
Could I go get a loan
Mhm.
and open a comedy club and then like have comedy like from a certain amount of time and then like later on have like bands
Yeah.
to just flip like, and like Burt's was definitely the old Burt's was
Yes.
definitely a place in my mind. So yeah, that I would totally love to be on that.
I have lots and lots of questions that I have like set aside specifically for you, Chris.
Oh,
Like, so
sweet.
like it's one of those things where it's like and you, and then also like Doug Peterson and like all these people that are like very involved in things where it's like everybody has a perspective on this. So
nice.
And so ideally it'll come out soon.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to be on that, but that would be fantastic. But what was I going to say? There was something that's airbrush T-shirts.
Yeah.
And then we'll be selling Marilyn Monroe gangsta airbrush T-shirts later. So I did say to the airbrush T-shirts, Kelly. I was riding my board earlier, and I did see around 3 o'clock there was a canopy set up on the corner of 8th and Central, and they were selling Raiders merchandise. So just so you know, that's there. There was a Raiders flag that was the American flag, but with the Raiders logo instead of the stars.
Nice.
And it was, silver and black. But,
of course.
As you do. As one does. So, Smiley, what do you got?
Well, I mean, just all my usual stuff. Look out for me on, seriously, all you have to do, send in a screenshot. I have a gift bag already set up.
Come on.
It's or don't. This could just be a running gag for a long time.
Find him on,
But you're an Army of the Dead.
I'm an Army of the Dead.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
He showed me screenshots.
Just find him.
Have you found yourself in Those That Want Me Dead?
I haven't seen that movie yet, but you told me.
I liked it. My mom hated it. I loved it.
I like the book.
And
I read the book when I got casted.
I'm waiting a while before I talk shit about it, because there are some scenes where Angelina Jolie goes through some struggles, and I laughed. And then she falls off a 2-story tower, lands on her back, and is like, my hip hurts. Like, no, your back would be shattered. But sorry, I just ruined it. Anyway.
I think that's it. Our upcoming stuff. And yeah. Oh, yeah. There's still Snatchers. People should be watching that on HBO Max. That's a fun movie.
I've never watched it. I still need to watch it.
I own it now.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I don't know. We'll see. What's coming up for me? This Saturday, 15 years of 10 drink minimum, man. If you've ever wanted to come and be here live, for sure, PM me on Facebook or Instagram. Please don't do it on Twitter. I get those, but I'm not on there that often. And whenever people do stuff, I'm like, oh, cool. I go and find it, and I'm like, someone messaged me. But if you'd really like to come, it's not open to the public, but it's open to people who really want to be here. We are going to have Q&A. Most of the show is going to be Q&A, I hope. Because I have 15 years of crazy stories and wild, or if you just want to ask a question, you can't be here in person, you want to ask a question, message me and we'll make sure that question gets asked on the show. I will not be hosting that show. Eric Carter Landine from True Consequences will be hosting that show, because first of all, I trust him wholeheartedly with this franchise or entourage or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I'm excited. I like to give the reins up and just sit and get asked things and answer things. And we're gonna have a couple of special guests. Billy will be here for people that want to know. I mean, everybody's like, is Billy gonna be there? Of course he's gonna be here.
Great.
He's flying in special for it.
Oh, wow.
So it's gonna be amazing. And Safe House Distilling is sponsoring it. A Good Sign and Bell's Brewing. So it's gonna be pretty sweet, when you can have heavy hitters like that. The number one brewery in the United States is we're gonna give you some beer, and an amazing distillery in town. Have you had their ready to drink alcohol yet?
The blueberry lemonade thing.
Yeah,
so good.
yeah.
It's so good.
And they're gonna give us a canopy, all kinds of shit. It's just
I didn't know they were canning that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see the can? Have you seen it?
Yes.
For the lemonade one?
It has.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
the can, but the
but
can.
you said you were talking about a canopy.
Oh no, but the can. No, the can for the ready to drink has a fingerprint on it, where you puncture the can to shotgun.
To
it.
do shotgun. Yeah, that's perfect. It's perfect.
And I was like, if you know Chris Lurig, and he'll be here next Saturday, because he's the guy that he's like, we got a shotgun twisted teas, and we do.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, but I love it. So I'm excited. So Saturday we'll record. Sunday probably the video will be posted. So yeah.
Cool.
Thank you. What? LOL. Typical. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh yeah.
Well, Kelly worked at
she works-
Safe House.
Oh, she doesn't work there anymore?
No, not right now. But like, we're also gonna have like an after party for our wedding. We're doing like really
dang.
fun things there. So yeah.
I'll
I'll DJ it. I'll just be like, it's
Dude.
all Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Hey, surprise, Taylor Swift.
I can still dance to that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure there's lots of like dance
Oh.
versions of her songs.
I have the best version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
But then you're like, I'll only play the Ryan Adam covers.
Oh yeah, I mean, Pitchfork only reviewed that for 1989, so it's cool. It's cool.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being on the show with us. Thank you for helping out.
I mean,
Thank
of
you so
course.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you for carrying Holly's load while she just chills out,
Listen, yeah, when
lays around. I'm just kidding.
when you're on baby leave, you gotta have people
You gotta have
here
peoples.
to help.
You have your peoples, man.
Mhm.
Your community,
Yeah,
your village.
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So yeah, Smiley, glad you're here.
Oh, where would I be?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People ask those questions all the time. Where's Smiley? And I'm like, I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, there's nothing. Hey, it's 15 years. I've been on the show for 7.
Yeah.
Save up some questions for me.
Yeah. People always go, more Smiley. Well, give him questions and ask him. Ask him why he says all the crazy things he says.
Mhm.
So, but I love you guys. Thank you guys, everybody, for here. And with that, we are 10
10
drink
drink
minimum.
minimum.